It's 6 o'clock on Thursday, July 1st. This is an Abington CAM Board of Directors meeting. We are Abington Community Access and Media Incorporated, the private nonprofit corporation that runs the cable access television studio here in Abington. We have on my left Peter Walters, Bob Malloy, Jessica Johnson, and Robert Kelly. The first item on the agenda tonight, the agendas are on the table over there, Joe. Yep. First item on the agenda tonight is old and new business, and I did think of something after I printed all this out, is that I believe, and I didn't go back to it, but I believe that at one of our remote meetings, we discussed the budget, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we left that at a vote of the board when we came back in person. Is that right? Or just
Yeah.
okay?
That's all we did, yeah. So we re-voted.
Okay.
It was an official vote.
Okay. So I printed out copies. This is
We
our
never had a budget vote.
budget that was approved at
Yeah, we should vote it.
town meeting.
Minutes.
This budget amount was shared with FinCom.
This is
town
Yeah.
meeting.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what's
Everybody's seen
appropriated
this
at town
already.
meeting.
It was actually approved at town meeting.
Right. So we just need to really have an official vote to get in the minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We all did it over the internet. So we need a motion in a second.
Yeah, we need a motion.
Move to adopt the FY 2022 proposed budget
We have a
Yes.
motion.
as written.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Could we record in the record that that was already put through the FinCom review and also town meeting approved, correct?
It was. Yes, it was.
There's nothing new to that, we're just
Yeah.
formalizing our vote.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
Because we couldn't take, we didn't have a meeting.
second item on the agenda is approval of the September 22nd minutes, which actually probably got
I have
down in
extra
the
copies
packet.
too if you need them.
Whoops. There we go. Those were emailed. Did everybody get a chance to see them in the email?
I got them, but I haven't read them.
Oh.
Welcome back, everybody. It seems like
Yeah.
a lot of these have
Been a while.
had some actions since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're ancient,
Some of them
ancient
are.
history.
Should we review them just to make sure they're all done, or, so a couple of them, I don't know the response.
It's only September 22nd.
Yeah, it's what was recorded for that meeting. But as far as the accuracy of it, I would move to accept the minutes as reported in by Mr. Kelly.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
We could go back and visit old and new business if you want to review the contents of that.
Yeah, if you find anything
Some
off.
Yeah, I'll go back.
Yeah. Next item on the agenda is tax return and 501c3 update. KPM is the accounting firm that is handling all that for us. The tax returns were due on May 15th, and after May 15th, I contacted them to get a copy of them, and that's when they told me that they had filed for an extension. So I asked them to do them, that I wasn't expecting an extension, and nobody told me there was going to be one. They sent me a request for all the information they needed, and I returned that to them. It all happened last week. So we're waiting for our 2020 tax returns. As far as the IRS determination letter, I've had many conversations with them, and we expected the determination letter, the final determination letter, the end of March, early April. And when I didn't hear from the IRS about that, I contacted KPM and they told me they would try. They tried and the line was busy and they left it out, we're still trying. So the IRS has everything they need for the 501c3 determination, and actually for anybody that doesn't already know, we were granted the 501c3 2019? And, yeah, it was 2019. And they said in the letter that the determination letter, that they were going to revoke it. They granted it and revoked it because they had received, for whatever reason, copies of 3 years of the 4 tax returns that I sent them. So I sent them the originals they were looking for a year ago in April, and we're still waiting. So the thing about that is that they told me when I spoke to them in 2018 that they've been treating us as if we were a 501c3 all along. Nobody ever applied for it until we sent it. And I want to say it was 19, I'm sorry. So they've been treating us as if we were a 501c3 all along, and they've actually, in the meantime, forgiven 2009 and 10 interest and penalties on taxes because the 501c3 hadn't been filed. So it looks like they are planning to give us that determination, but now they say COVID is backing things up and can't even get through on the phone. So we're waiting. And the only thing it affects is that we don't pay income taxes because they're treating us as if we were a 501c3. So that's the value in that.
So Lisa,
Mhm.
just for discussion purposes and the transparency of it,
Mhm.
I think KPM did an excellent job catching us up through 2019.
Yes.
Like, there was a lot of work there.
Mhm.
But I am concerned that
Yes.
for some reason, here we are in July,
Mm.
and they haven't filed their 2020. Well, grateful that they caught us up. I
Yeah.
thought we would be in a regular rhythm like every other corporation.
That's what I thought.
Considering
And-
COVID gave us an extension too,
Mm.
from March to May,
So
like
I,
somewhere in that they didn't,
yeah, I guess what I'm
For corporate.
getting at is our frustration is real, but
Yes.
I'm not saying it's a matter of concern today, but it may reach a point that we should be seeking another firm to assist us
I've
moving
looked
forward.
into that, yes. So the 2020 tax returns were due, regardless of COVID, they were due 5 months after the end of 2020. And the corporation goes by the calendar year, so December was the end of 2020. And so they were due in May, and now they filed an extension. They're due in November with the extension. So we're,
so they don't have.
paper-wise, we're supposed to be, as far as extensions, but, yeah,
But,
I'm
well,
not
the
too happy
question
with
of why
either.
the extension was necessary, if 2020 was not to be as
Yeah.
complicated as 2019 or prior years that
Exactly.
No, it was
had been
easy. Everything
refiled.
was already in
We
there.
thought,
Mm.
I thought.
I thought so too, yeah, I was very surprised when they told me they filed an extension, and I have sent many, many emails and phone calls, and they are, I don't wanna bash anybody here, but they're a little unresponsive. And my thought is that since they have power of attorney and they're working on the 501c3, and they have actually spoken with the IRS, I mean, I can take that back from them. That's
Well, I don't
not-
think we're in
that's not the issue,
a
but-
situation to need to change immediately,
Mm.
but the service has been flawed to date.
Yes,
We
I
need to
agree.
have some improvements.
And,
Lisa, I just have a question.
I'm
And
sorry,
this is really for Bob. Is it common practice to file without letting the client know?
Yeah.
Oh,
is it?
yeah.
To file an extension without letting anybody know, yeah?
And
That
Mr.
seems
Kelly, you're a
to me,
CPA, so you would speak to that, right? You're an
Uh-huh.
accountant, correct? I think that's why you're
Yeah,
directed to
you
Mr.
would
Kelly.
file it automatically, if you couldn't get to it.
Yeah.
You
I don't mean to
wouldn't tell-
imply
you
it's
wouldn't tell
out
your
of the
client that
usual,
you-
Well,
it's
usually the
just,
client would call me and ask before the due date, and I would say,
Yeah.
well, we'd file an extension.
Yeah, they told me it was May,
It's not
but
up,
they didn't
it's not up
say
to the
they were
CPA,
filing
it's up to the
extension.
client to call you and say, how's my tax return doing? What
Oh.
are you gonna do with it? And I would say, well, we're gonna put you on extension.
Yeah,
And our
I guess
expectation
we
was to
called
be
after
filed
the
in
due date.
May.
The due
but
date was May
they-
15th.
Mm.
The
When I drop off my
tax exempt
tax,
organizations
I
did
don't
not get it.
expect
Did
to
not-
have to call them.
Yeah, you dropped it off, but we didn't drop it off.
Oh, okay. So we didn't send them any information at all?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we
Oh,
Yeah,
sent
we
every-
I sent it
That's
as
what I
attachments
understood.
electronically.
Yeah, we sent them the information, you know, expecting our tax
know.
returns to be done.
I just know how my practice worked. My
Mhm.
practice would work, I would call you or
Mm.
hope to hear from you before it was due.
Yeah,
And if I was too busy, I'd say, well, we're gonna put you on extension.
Yeah,
So
Which-
I don't know,
was even more reason I was surprised because I had been in touch with them before May and they didn't mention it.
yeah.
So,
But that's usually a last minute decision. You wanna get them all filed on time.
mhm.
So usually it's like the 14th.
Yeah.
And again, tax exempts did not receive any extensions with COVID.
Mhm.
They were all due on the regular time. Where people got extensions, individuals and corporations, but not tax exempts.
Oh, so tax exempt did not get
Did
that,
not get
okay.
it. No,
5
they were all
months
due-
after the-
Yeah, they're all due on the right time.
yeah.
Uh,
So we have until November now, and they tell me they're working on it. I sent them everything. I haven't heard back from them
Sure.
that I missed
Doesn't seem like
anything.
it'd be complicated, though. We're such a small,
You'd
and we've already
think.
caught up to
Well,
everything.
Yeah,
The thing that's really complex is the mass. I don't know what's happened. The mass 2019 needed an audit because of the size of the receipts.
We
So-
haven't even heard back from them. I've sent numerous emails to them asking
Yeah.
for their
See,
recommendation.
they can't do an audit because they're.
No, but they said they
Right.
would refer us to somebody, and we have not had a referral, so
So somebody needs
I
to.
think we're gonna
just-
have to go
yeah.
outside of that.
So I actually have another firm that's been recommended, and pleasure of the board, I guess. I was thinking that we would wait until we got our 501c3 and got all this cleared up so that we could just move on with a new firm once this was
Yeah,
completed.
certainly, they're
since
involved,
it's been
they're
so
extensively
complex.
involved, and it has been complex, they know the background, it's just, now we have a real deadline of November, and
Mhm.
it would just be, very disappointing, if not to the point of, maybe we need another firm if we miss November.
Oh, I
I
wouldn't
don't think
think
they would.
that, they've actually sent me other things.
Now, can we have the new firm do the audit, since you have that, if we need
Yeah,
an
they
The
audit?
couldn't
way
because they
that
didn't file the
works-
return.
They didn't file the return, and that way we can get an idea of how they work.
But
Yeah.
the other thing you gotta realize, and I wanted to make a comment about the IRS, there's nobody working at the IRS, they sent everybody home. And if you did not file a return electronically, all the paper is in a room someplace. And they have a guy come in once a week and work 3 hours and open envelopes.
Yeah,
Some people
they're
haven't
all
received
working
it.
remotely,
Yeah,
I'm
somebody,
aware.
people have not received their 2019 tax returns yet, refunds. So, and our returns were all mailed in manually. So they're in a room someplace.
Until the man
It's
goes
gonna
in
take
and
a long
spends some
time.
time, yeah.
So they've acknowledged that they have.
They have them, but no one's
That-
opened the envelope, and it's
Yeah.
gonna take a long
Yeah.
time
Yeah,
before
this is
someone.
COVID residual
So you have a
problems.
question?
I have a comment. I filed our income tax paper, and my check came in today. My refund came in today.
Yeah.
You're
But see,
lucky.
You
You're
have, you
lucky.
have, you pay taxes, we don't pay taxes, Joe, so they're put ours in another room.
I
So-
don't know what it was.
Is
Yeah.
that quick? I
That-
don't
No,
Yeah.
no,
Oh,
No?
no, he filed it in March,
I filed it
Oh.
in February,
February.
paper.
He should have got it the end of February,
Oh,
beginning of
I
really?
March.
filed electronically because there was a problem. We were just starting to wonder if it was coming. We weren't,
Yeah.
they didn't receive
No,
it.
they're all.
We
they're all
filed
messed
ours
up.
in May,
I don't know how that
corporate
usually
ones,
goes.
and everything's all set now.
Yeah.
Refunds are
So
in.
obviously,
So-
this is a COVID big deal at the IRS,
Yep.
Right.
the tax,
And there
tax
may be a
prep
COVID
services
issue,
a little
maybe
behind.
a COVID issue with the CPAs too.
Exactly, I understand, it's just
I don't know.
surprise for the extension, but nonetheless, we're up
Maybe they'll
against
be able to
a
file
November
electronically.
timeline.
I'm sorry.
So maybe they'll be able to file electronically now?
Yeah, that's my understanding, that we couldn't, according to them, that we couldn't last time because it was late? Is that why?
We're late again.
That's why. No, we file an extension, so
we're
it's
not
not
late.
late.
It won't be.
Whatever happens, Lisa, you need to tell them you wanna file electronically, even if they don't
Oh,
want
I
to.
know.
If
Yeah.
it bounces, then you file a paper
Yeah.
return, but we should never file the original ones on paper. We should have filed electronically and then
That's
seen
what-
if they bounced.
So
That's
our
what they
accounting
suggest.
firm should be
That's
asked to
what I
file
think.
electronically,
Yeah.
all right.
They didn't want to, they didn't wanna file them electronically for some reason.
So my plan is to hopefully get this all caught up by the end of the year, the 2020 tax returns and the 501c3, and then go with hopefully a different company. The reason that well, many reasons why I've tolerated this so long, because when I first started looking for a new accountant, I talked to 5 of them before I got anybody that would even touch us. They all said, no, you have too many issues, and they agreed to take us, so.
Yeah, that's why I recognized there was a lot to clean up.
Yeah.
I'm
it's
appreciative of
mostly
them.
caught up.
I just thought we'd be more in a rhythm by now.
So did I. Yeah, that was the hope. Would have been a lot easier. So, is everybody in agreement that we continue to wait?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
So the next thing on the agenda is COVID reimbursement enterprise fund FY 21-22 update. So that would be Bob, Malloy, and Jessica.
Maybe I could start with the treasurer report, which will lead into the details of the COVID.
Awesome.
Okay, so reporting some numbers, and I think what we should do is we can plan to post the details of this report on our website for the public consumption if need be. The Abington CAM business checking at the end of quarter 2, 2021. Let me be clear on that. As of yesterday, 6:30, the balance in the checking was $414,705.69. We have in our CD, there are 2. The first CD is at a balance of $309,646.14. Another CD has the value of $310,701.29. The year-to-date earnings for those 2 CDs at present, as of yesterday, and I'll tell you why that's important, is $1,005.17. That's the earnings on the 2 CDs. That amount does not include approximately $180 that would have been paid at the end of business day yesterday on those CDs. So that add another 180 and you'll get to roughly $1,185.17 in year-to-date interest earned. The total balance at this time, again, sorry, 6:30 yesterday, in our CDs and checking account is $1,035,053.12. The difference from quarter 1 to quarter 2, the total difference was, end of quarter 1, we had $1,084,720.57. So there's been a lot of expenditures, but as I have stated in this, and I want to read it to make sure people understand, this summary is a snapshot in time. That time happens to be June 30th. With the PEG Enterprise Fund reimbursement, there's an ebb and flow of checking account balances as expenses are incurred and then reimbursed. So we're pretty close, and you could use $1,035,053.12 as our balance. I think that's a fair number to utilize. You could add 180 if you really want to know where we're at as of today. There was one deposit of note, and that was related to the PEG Enterprise Fund. That was $39,311.24. That deposit happened in the month of June. That was the total PEG Enterprise reimbursements made in quarter 2. You might recall we pay the bills, we submit for reimbursement from the enterprise fund, and checks are issued from the PEG Enterprise Fund by the town.
Part of that was from PCC reimbursement, and part of that was, or no, am I
That
off
amount
that?
was purely from the enterprise
30.
fund, not from the PCC.
The 39,000.
Yep, that was enterprise.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
the reimbursement from PCC, and then 8,000 of it was from PEG.
yeah, I guess I didn't make that
8,000 of the
clear.
30, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
I'm
we're at
sorry.
32,000.
It's kind of complicated the way they do it, but $31,289 was ultimately through
Enterprise.
PCC, the COVID money.
Mhm.
The other $8,021 was through the enterprise fund.
For reimbursement for the warranty.
It was the 4 years after 2021 on the warranty.
Okay.
We bought them all together because it was cheaper to buy 4 years at one time, but, so what happens with maybe this is more than anybody needs to know, but, what happens with the, PCC COVID money is that it's the municipality that has the COVID expenditures, and so the corporation is a contractor for the town, so we get reimbursed through the town for our COVID expenditures as a contractor. So the town actually issues the check and then gets reimbursed from PCC. So I call it PCC, but really it's not directly from PCC.
So it's not actually revenue, it's actually just COVID reimbursement.
No,
31
PCC
that
funding.
31,000, yeah.
All right, I can make the amendment.
Yeah.
I feel
On the
like I
record,
didn't
from the
explain it very
transactions of
well.
the Abington Savings Bank, where all of our holdings are, there was one deposit for $39,311.24. That deposit was comprised of the PCC funding and the enterprise funding.
Yep.
Yes.
And that'll be clarified before we post it to make sure everybody understands it. Just some highlights of some of the expenses that were incurred. We had some camera repairs for $225. We made a significant purchase for what we call the switcher and some accessories. That was near $39,000. We paid within the quarter two. We paid for quarter one rental, which is $2,500 per month, which is $7,500 paid to the Abington Public Schools for the studio rental space. Our fees to payroll service, about $300. We had a payroll to staff, about $22,500. Payroll taxes, about $14,500. We had about $1,000 in credit card payments. We have a monthly business insurance payment that 12 times a year, 71.80 cents a month, 215 in the quarter. Employee health insurance, about $27.83. And actually, that gets paid out by 25% of that cost is absorbed by employees, so the direct cost to Abington CAM was $2,087.55. This will be posted, so if you wish to review it, you don't have to take as many notes. There were no student intern payments requested by Abington Public Schools within quarter two. I would expect that to happen within quarter three. That's about the pace. They run a little bit behind. Our service fees for payroll is incurred every 2 weeks, just so you guys are aware. And of note, our payroll and payroll tax had a bit of an impact in the month of April 2021. The Massachusetts state unemployment tax rate was established to become a new set rate of 14.37% on the first 15,000 of paid wages per employee, with a maximum of 2,115 per employee. Time Pays, who is our payroll vendor, made a catch-up payment, which was recorded on April 12th, which also was covering payments that were incurred in the quarter one. So quarter two had a bit of a hit with our payroll expenses there. So it's a catch-up payment in quarter two, but it included quarter one.
Can I just add something there? We just received letters from, I don't know if you received it yet, from unemployment where they're gonna go back to 2020 rates, and that will be issued as a credit. You won't get a refund, but what we paid out extra in the unemployment will be issued as a credit going
Okay.
forward.
Yeah.
So that'll
Have to watch
offset
for
it.
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
but it should be in your employee account.
Okay, you can check that.
So yeah, you wanna check on that to see, because we just got that letter.
Our mail's a little slow sometimes.
Do you have it go directly to your employment account instead of the mail? That could be why you might not have it, if you go with,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
So just some quick notes about the PEG Enterprise Fund and FinCom. As you heard earlier, we just closed fiscal year 2021. The total from Comcast and Verizon was $269,401.87. Just for the record, that is slightly down by 2.875% as compared to fiscal year 2020, which is a difference of $7,975.97, if you count it. We had anticipated we might see some fluctuation on the enterprise fund funding, and sure enough, that is materializing near 3%. The process has been and continues to be that we provide receipts and documentation, and we submit that to the town. They've been excellent and responsive in issuing our reimbursements from the enterprise fund. A note, and Lisa was kind enough to attend the Finance Committee, the FinCom, and also at the town meeting in May. We presented our budget, and that was agreed and approved. We had shared the details. That was routinely just kind of reviewed this at the top of this meeting. It's already been done. So as a paragraph of note, if I could read it, just noting as the close of fiscal 2020, ACAM did apply for and submitted and utilized Plymouth County COVID fund reimbursements. That was within fiscal year 2020 and was covering some significant qualified hardware purchases. The purchases made were then submitted with receipts and evidence supporting the purchase for reimbursement. In total, those reimbursements came out to, well, I did the math wrong.
It's on the agenda,
Perfect.
131.
Yep. 131, 289, something like that.
$131,174.36
That's it.
in 3 different disbursements.
Just planning ahead as far as the funding goes, the one thing we all need to make note of is, I know Kevin Tachi, and he may cover it, is reviewing and evaluating vendors with proposals to upgrade the town hall camera system. And those cameras are currently standard density, which might be referred to as low density compared to what we've recently become accustomed to with high density resolution. I think those cameras in the town hall are 10 to 11 years old, and we should anticipate sometime soon a project to advance those cameras to new, and that could range between $45,000 and $70,000, just as an expense to expect. So that's the details. I'll make those corrections and we'll get it posted. Any questions on any of that material? Thank you.
So just a quick question on the COVID reimbursements. We received everything but the last one?
No, we received the last one.
No, we received it.
We just did.
We haven't, the only thing we haven't
So we
received.
received 131,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Total. The only thing we haven't received is the last, enterprise fund disbursement, $26,662.
The one that we just signed.
Yeah, she just got that Monday, yeah, yeah. She's usually
But all the
pretty quick
COVID
with
money
those.
was received,
Okay.
and, like Lisa said, it was paid by the town, because Abington can't.
They're the middle hands on that.
So
Yeah.
it's paid by the town, and then the town submits the qualified invoices,
Mhm.
and the town is going to reimburse for all that too.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting, and I think Lisa, you deserve some credit for that. You brought the COVID Plymouth County to our attention. I think our studios clearly benefited from some of those funds. If people aren't aware, we've purchased some new hardware for the students in the studio. We've purchased some remote tools so that we could have distancing as needed, and I think it was a well-spent effort. So nice job.
I'd like to just make a note that, there were a lot of people throughout the state, including the governor and legislature, that didn't think that the Plymouth County Commissioners should have taken that money and dispersed it. But had the state taken that money, Abcam never would have gotten that $131,000. I'm on the Plymouth County Advisory Board, and last night we got a review on it. Abington and all the towns in Plymouth County got far more than similar towns where the state
Beyond the
distributed
county,
money.
yep.
Yeah.
Abington got $2.5 million total, including what Abcam did. And I think they said Northborough was the town they compared similar, and they got about 1.5 million from the state. So the ARPA money will be going through Plymouth County also. I'm not sure if Abcam will qualify for anything for that, but it's possible.
Right.
Now, what was that?
What's that last
The
fund?
ARPA is the new
ARPA?
one. It was, the first one was the CARES Act.
Okay.
Okay.
And now they, another $1 trillion over the next 3 years. And actually Abington already received a check for $800,000, but it's to cover other things, infrastructure and, Wi-Fi and, stuff like that,
that's
you know.
nice.
So it's possible we could get something to upgrade, you know, maybe
Yeah.
we might even be able to get something to upgrade the studio, because water, sewer, and
Infrastructure in
and
general.
infrastructure in general
Yeah.
is
I have to
qualified
find out what it's
for
all
that.
about, yeah.
Yeah.
Look
Look into
into
it a
that.
little more.
So it's, the acronym he's talking about, ARPA, is the American Rescue Plan Act, that's under,
Okay.
President Biden.
Oh,
ARPA,
I
one he
haven't, I
just-
haven't looked
yeah.
into that at all yet.
ARPA.
Is that the one
Very,
that
very
passed yet, or
strict.
What's the new
that
one?
one's still waiting to be
Is
passed?
that already passed?
That
passed.
passed. Abington's already received $800,000 out of that one, directly from the federal government.
Not to be confused with Abington Cam, just
That's
Abington.
Just Abington.
I'm glad. Thank you.
So, in your packets, we have all kinds of,
Nice reporting.
yeah, awesome bar graphs.
Yeah, bar graphs, pie charts.
And, so the spreadsheets are just that, I printed out the spreadsheets that I keep a running tally of, all of our banking. It's just mostly directly from the bank statements. And I just included them so everybody could see them, and as I was printing them out yesterday, I thought, oh, this is probably way more clear to me than it's gonna be to anybody else, but, I wanted you to see them just in case.
Yeah, if I could just share with the public that the process is, we have the single ledger out of Abington Savings Bank, where we keep our assets. We know the transactions. I review, I report on those with the record. I can tell to the penny where we're at any day by logging into the bank. That same statement is shared with Jessica, who has access to QuickBooks. She downloads that material into QuickBooks, and she's put together some pretty fabulous PDF graphics of pie charts and how we're making our expenditures. The third check would be Lisa in her spreadsheet. So we have a lot of eyes on the money and
Yeah.
where it's being spent and how it's being spent.
And a lot of oversight on everything. It's really nice. Because mine is definitely
So we have checks and
accurate to the day.
balances.
Yeah. That's good.
So, if I could just interject, I did, reach out to Sue Moquin, our town accountant, for a, final figure on the, enterprise fund, but I'm sure she has more important things on the
Yeah.
last day of the fiscal year, so,
I'm sure.
but we do have about, $92,500 in the enterprise fund, and that carries over to FY '22. So that's about approximately the ending, FY '21 balance. And we have about, $77,000 in, unpaid invoices, which is actually, should be the very last spreadsheet, that I gave you, yeah, the lines didn't come out too good. It says FY '21 remaining. Those are remaining invoices. The ones on the far right, those dollar amounts are from the last voucher, but everything on the right is what we haven't gotten reimbursed from the enterprise fund for, $77,005.40. So for this previous fiscal year, the finance committee had voted to allow us to spend $170,000 out of the enterprise fund, regardless of how much revenues we took in, because the previous year, we took in $170,000. So in our 4 vouchers we submitted, we got 169,000, whatever $2.95 left is, we got of the $170,000. So we have $77,000 in invoices that, Sue, the town accountant, told me that we can submit those as a warrant article at the next town meeting, whether it's in the fall or the spring, as a warrant article to have the $77,000 in invoices paid as a vote at town meeting. And that would leave us the remainder for the 92,000, what is that, another $15,000 in the account?
So the 77,000 would draw from the 92,489, a balance of about 15,000
Yeah,
remaining.
so we'd have 15,000 left. So this year's town meeting, they actually voted to allow us to spend almost $100,000 more than that budget that we just voted on. That was the figure presented at town meeting. I don't know why, I'm happy for it, but, and it was voted and approved that we can spend $367,000, I think.
Oh, they went above 100,000?
Yeah, I think they added a 90 in.
Yeah, I'm not
Was it for
sure,
the
it
town
wasn't
meeting
exactly
offices?
100,000, I don't know.
Maybe because we were
I
doing
wonder
that?
if the
No?
camera project played a role in some of that, because there's a significant expense with that,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, but
We have some
so-
leeway, that's the
Yeah.
beauty.
So we've been approved to spend 367,000, in FY '22, so, as I understand it, if we, do the town hall Carter room remodel and the rest of the rooms, that if we spent 75,000, then, we would still have about 20,000 left in the enterprise fund, at the end of FY '22.
Mhm.
So we can either submit all or part of the 77,000 as a warrant article and get that money and take the remaining 15,000 because we're allowed to take that. Or we can just not
Yep.
submit a warrant article and take it and leave the rest to carry over for FY '23.
If
I
if
think
I'm
it's
not
cleaner
mistaken,
not to do the warrant article.
Mm.
it just stays in there, but we still,
It stays in.
the enterprise fund is dedicated to ACAM expenses no matter
Absolutely.
what. So
Yep.
if it was 21, if there's a balance, it can still
It
be
rolls
tapped
over.
in 22.
The DOR mandates that PEG money can't be spent for anything but PEG purposes,
Right.
so it stays with the.
It's cleaner to
But
stay
is
away
it,
from
is it
warrant.
earning
Yeah.
anything in there?
No.
No.
But
But
it's
most of
temporary,
our
isn't
money
it?
isn't,
It's
It's in
temporary.
flight.
yeah, it's not earning anything, the revenues coming in aren't earning anything, and our checking account isn't earning anything. The only thing that's actually earning anything, and it's only 0.4% now, is the two CDs.
At least it's something better than nothing.
Yeah,
So will we have an extra $100,000 next year?
well, if we can take it now for the, town, I call it town hall remodel,
Yes.
so the cameras,
Yeah,
not the whole town hall.
It could be applied to that project.
yeah.
Yeah, so whatever 75,000 out of the 92 that's going to be in there, we can submit for in FY '22 for that. And
And that's
we're
on
just
top
on-
of the 360? Is that
No,
what-
That's
it-
part of the
as part of
360.
that.
Oh, that's part of it, so they
Yeah.
added that 100,000 onto it.
They added
Because
to
it
our
was
budget.
268, okay.
Correct.
Oh, okay,
Three-
that, okay.
367
I thought it was
or
additional,
something.
so I'm like, why would,
Yeah,
just take it?
367.
Yeah,
So we're gonna use it anyway, so it doesn't matter, okay.
most of it. And then what's left would just roll over
Yeah.
to the next fiscal year.
All right, great.
So, okay.
Did I know it's a director's meeting, but, just knowing town meeting and everything, I agree with Bob. It's gonna be cleaner if you just
Yeah.
submit that 77,000 since you have the extra.
It would be the town hall remodel, about 60 to 75,000 Kevin's projecting.
But I
Good.
just think.
Yeah,
it
but
would-
the unpaid bills should go through. You don't wanna go to town meeting with the unpaid bills, do you?
Well, the only option for getting the FY '21 remaining invoices paid is a town meeting warrant article.
If we wanted to. do that.
Otherwise,
Oh, because that's not part of the
we were
22
only,
budget.
we were only approved to spend 170,000 out of whatever we took in FY '21. So we got that 170, and we have 77,000 remaining. So,
To submit for.
right,
We spent another
Which-
77,000, we've not been reimbursed yet.
that's right. So if we wanted to submit for this 77,000, it would have to be in the form of a warrant article,
Because the invoices are from 21.
FY '21. Either that, or we can just forget
Oh,
about it.
so once we pay those, we can't submit for them after, like,
The only way we can get the FY '21 remainder is through a town meeting warrant article, 77,000.
yeah, so we
Or-
can't submit it next 2022?
No, I
So,
tried,
so,
yes.
yeah, see, so, I don't know.
Yeah, so,
When is
so
that?
our
Because
other
now we're gonna
option,
spend,
When's the next town meeting? Wow.
if there
It
is
might be
one,
one in the fall.
They'll
Yeah.
probably do that.
or it could wait until next spring if there's not one in the fall. So our other option then is to do the town hall remodel, likely spend 60 to 75,000. Take that, because it's an FY '22 expenditure, and we've been approved to spend an extra 100,000, almost 100,000 over our budget. And then let the rest of it roll over.
do we have to go through, is it procurement, is that what it's called? Where they have to go out and have it out for bid?
No, we don't have to.
We won't, that doesn't
No,
apply to us?
we're not
Okay.
at,
It has
a
nothing
town
to do with the
entity.
I just wanted to make
versus a
sure.
contractor, so yeah, that doesn't apply to
Okay.
us that way.
So
I
that
mean,
is
of
definitely a
course,
cleaner way.
Kevin's been getting bids from everybody he knows, but,
Mhm.
um,
So between
Yeah,
our
so-
budget and the town remodel, that covers what's in the.
pretty much.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a cleaner way to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can touch
Yep.
upon that in my report.
okay.
okay. So we have graphs and all kinds of stuff. Do you wanna speak to that, or?
It's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think we went over everything, so it
Yeah.
really covers everything in the treasurer's report. You can put it up on the site and everybody
Yeah,
can
we'll
see.
post it.
We'll post them.
The spreadsheets are kind of just my interpretation of the same thing.
Well, it's good, cause we go from January to December, and your spreadsheets cover, like,
Calendar years.
calendar years and stuff, yes, so it's helpful, because when you see deposits, they're not broken down by what Comcast deposits and what Verizon deposits. So I like to have that information, because it keeps us
That-
on track with what we're actually bringing in.
I think that is one of the spreadsheets.
The revenue.
is, she's
It
looking
is,
at it.
I'm looking at it right now,
You
so
got
I
it?
like that.
All right. And I have more, I just didn't print them all out.
Cause I mean, you don't get that information from the enterprise fund. You
No.
just get deposit amounts, whatever we do for a voucher, that's our revenue for the, so it's kinda hard.
Yeah.
Cause it's not real revenue, so you have to break it down in QuickBooks, so we know what's real and what's not.
We get Comcast and Verizon quarterly statements directly from Comcast and Verizon, so we
Mhm.
know what's coming in, and then
Yes,
it
but,
takes a few weeks for
It's
them
hard,
to.
like, when the accounting comes in from the bank into QuickBooks, it doesn't break it down that way.
No.
So it's nice to have that for my sake, so
Yeah,
when
I
I'm
think-
going over everything, I'm making sure I have everything in the right revenue.
If the
versus-
public's interested, from August of 2020, that quarterly payment, and through May of 2021, covering the fiscal year, Comcast enterprise portion was $134,833.98. Verizon, very neck and neck here,
Mm.
$134,567.89, for a total of $269,401.87. So it's very similar, but that is the fiscal year 2021 payments schedule.
So, I think we're good on that, aren't we?
I think so.
If you could, the very last set of spreadsheets I gave you, the last page, it says checking CD1, CD2. Right before that. Yeah. It starts with, FY 2021 key items, and if you turn the page, it has a little bit about the CDs on it. So, a big part of the reason we're here tonight, and I'm hoping that we can come to agreement and vote on this, is that our two CDs are going to, well, actually, they did mature yesterday, and we have a total 10 days to decide what to do with them. Otherwise, they automatically roll over at whatever the current interest rate is, which is about 0.4%.
Lisa, I'm sorry, I think the term ends July 30th, 2021, I thought. That's what I had in this system recorded. July 30th. But it
You-
does
You
end
are
on July
right.
30th.
You're right, I did that.
So those
I-
two CDs, which are each about
Yes.
310,000, the term started on December 29th, 2020, and they will come to an end on 7/30, July 30th, 2021. So we have a little breathing
You're
room.
right, I did that in the email too, and the July 9th was the, is the end date for enterprise fund submissions. And then August 9th is the, drop dead date for the CD rollover. You're right,
That's fine.
I'm sorry, I keep.
That doesn't change the story.
Yeah, so it would be good if we could come to an agreement on this tonight. So we're currently getting 0.4% interest on our CDs. They were 7 months, and we got down from 2% in the previous 18-month CDs. The 7-month CDs were at 0.4% interest. So from $500 a month each, we went down to about $95 a month each. And one is currently at $309,664. The other one is $310,701. They both started out at $300,000, and in the last
Years.
18 and 6, 24 months, they've earned, just over $20,000 in interest between the two of them. So, I talked to the bank again, day before yesterday. They said that a 10-month CD is at 0.4% interest with a 6-month penalty. So if we put them in for 10 months and take them out before 6 months, they charge us 6 months of interest. If we take them out at 7 months, we're back to whatever we put into it. So the 48-month is 0.45% interest, and the 60-month is 0.5% interest. I spoke with my,
They don't have any other different months, they only have 10, 48, and 60?
yeah,
Oh,
yep, and they're,
they don't have like a 24 month, nothing like that?
no, that's all they gave me,
Okay.
yeah. And they didn't know offhand, the person that I spoke to didn't know what the penalty was for early withdrawal on those, but I thought, well,
This is all at
0.4%.
Abington Savings Bank
Yes.
also, correct?
Abington
Mhm.
Bank.
Abington Bank.
Abington Bank.
Sorry,
Abington
Abington
Bank,
Bank,
yeah.
sorry.
yeah. So, you see this milestone MYGA. I spoke with my financial advisor. Been speaking to him for the last several weeks, so this has changed since I first got it, but you see at the top of this page, it says 3 years, 2.05%. When I first started talking to him about this, that's what the interest rate is. It's currently, if we contact him tomorrow, we can get 2.3% on a 3-year annuity and 3% on a 5-year annuity. So the thing about this is that it is, the bank is fully insured up to whatever deposit amount we have, but these annuities are fully insured for a deposit up to $250,000, which it's not like the 5 of us could go there for Abington CAM and all put in $250,000 and we'd all be insured for Abington CAM. So they will take 2 annuitants, 2 people on the account, but 1 account for Abington CAM. So Abington CAM is insured up to $250,000 for the annuities. And it's a $100,000 minimum. So my thought is that we have one for $100,000 and one for $150,000. The difference with the annuities from the CDs is that the CDs have the short-term 6-month penalty for a 10-month CD. The annuities have a percentage. You'll see the surrender charge on the bottom. So depending, the first page is 3 years, and those are surrender charges for the year, whatever year you're in of the 5-year annuity. So if you, and they allow us to take out, 10% a year without any penalty. And then, so the first year is 9% on the 3-year, 8% penalty
Is that
if
of
we took
the
out.
interest earned? Or is that of the total annuity value?
Probably the principal
My
value.
understanding was of the total annuity value. I could be
Probably
wrong
just the
about
principal.
that. He gave
Typically, it's
me
just the principal.
another stack of papers to read when I went to see him. So the thing about the annuities is that we're fully insured up to $250,000. So we wouldn't want to put any more than that in
No.
as Abington CAM. And so we take in about $265,000 a year from Comcast and Verizon. We have $1,035,000 or something like that in the bank right now. So if we took $250,000 out of what we have in the bank, that would leave us $775,000 plus, and put it in an annuity. $775 in the bank, and plus the $265,000 we get in every year from Comcast and Verizon. So we would have to spend that $775,000 in the bank before we would need to break into our annuities. So my thought is, anyway, put the minimum deposit is $100,000 in an annuity. We can put the whole 250 into one. But my thought is put 101 and 150 in the other annuity.
Why?
That
If
way
we
be-
had to break into it,
Yeah,
we only
because
get
it,
penalized on
yeah,
one
it
of
would
them,
be a
not both.
percentage of, and I'm pretty sure I'm right about that, and that's why I was thinking it, because I did have this conversation with Chris, the finance guy. That would be 9% of the total amount in that annuity is what we would be penalized if we took more than 10% out in a year.
So, just the mechanics of this, if it happens, let's say we have 100 and 150, and it goes into this annuity.
Mhm.
I'm gonna presume, for the movement of cash to make it happen quickly, that would come out of our checking.
Mhm.
Then as our one of the CD matures,
They both on the same day.
but as one of them matures, we could put some of that money into the checking to replenish it.
Yeah.
To keep, I don't know, maybe it's 300,000 is a good number to keep in there, and then we can define a new amount for that new CD, if that might be, well, could be 250.
Yeah,
But
we
we're
c-
moving money around.
We could even, I don't think there is a minimum for the CDs at the Abington Bank. So we could have more than one CD.
Right.
Um,
It's
that-
almost as if we're just saying, if we were to keep one CD at Abington Bank,
Mhm.
I didn't say savings. Abington Bank has one CD, and then the other CD, we essentially are swapping that out to an annuity, is the proposal.
Right.
If the board is comfortable with locking down into an annuity for potentially 3 years or 5 years,
Mhm.
viewing the interest rates available.
It's been 2 years already for the two $300,000 CDs. that we
And I
have.
think that the reason you mentioned the money of what's incoming is we have and continue to expect somewhere near 260,000 annually, which is why our total balance, as reported over the past roughly 2 years, is about the same.
Mhm.
It's actually gone up a little bit,
Little bit.
the interest earned.
Yeah. Joe?
I'm handling the Abington Alumni Scholarship. We've had about $100,000 in it. It's gone down a little bit. But what Crockett Donovan set up was, we set up 4 separate CDs. One was a 1 year, 2 year, and 3 or 4 year. Each one, when what you would do was when one became due, you would withdraw the money out of that CD you needed for the next year's scholarships. And then roll the money back in, so you try to keep on multiple CDs. And that's worked fairly well. In other words, you're not dependent on pulling out of one CD.
Right.
So
Yeah,
you
that- yeah.
basically have the same thing. You
Yeah.
could have 2 CDs, your checking account and the annuity,
Yeah,
Mhm.
plus your
That's what I was-
265,000
Yeah, just have smaller
income
CDs
every
potentially.
year.
Yep.
well, not
And
so much, because
just
we have
keep
so much
rolling.
money in the checking account now, we really only need 270.
Yeah,
So
really.
you would take whatever, the difference between the 414 and 270, and you move that over too.
We could shift the money around.
Because why
We
would you
just-
keep it there not doing anything? It's over $100,000.
I think that's the part we just have to decide, is are we pulling, if it was agreed to put 250 into an annuity, are we just going to, we have to define what would be our CD value or CD values if there's multiple, and how much do we wanna keep in the checking account?
And what I was also gonna suggest, since we're getting so little interest from Abington Bank, to keep it on the shortest period of time, only 'cause the difference
Rates
between
change.
the rate change, I believe that rate changes are gonna change,
Mhm.
and they're gonna go up. So I think we should have the availability of the money. Besides, we're not getting really much of anything from the Abington Bank, so why put it in for a long time?
Now, what did your financial advisor say about the 2-year versus the 5-year? Because in 2 years, the interest rates even on an annuity could probably go up.
Yeah.
So definitely a 5-year, probably you don't wanna lock it in that long.
I was thinking 3-year.
3, I only saw 2-year, there is 3.
No,
3
it's
and
actually
5.
3 and 5.
Oh, I
5
had
was
3.
3%.
Okay, so
3
maybe
years
3.
was 2.3%.
And then
3 years,
where we
2.3.
have so much extra money, why not just put the whole 250 in one annuity, because we have so much now. If we ever got down, that's when you split it up.
Why
You know
not
what I
split it?
mean?
We're only
Well-
guaranteed access
Yeah.
to not losing anything, like FDIC-ish, if you will, but 250's our max.
Yeah,
So
so just one annuity.
why don't we
250.
split it? Why would we
Well-
not split it?
Well,
The
would you gain
reason-
more interest if you kept it as 250?
No.
No.
You make the
would
same
keep the
amount.
No, you
same?
don't,
Take
no,
the
it's
same,
not.
and again, if we had to cash one in, then the penalty would be on the,
Yeah, we're
only on the
distributing
one
risk.
and not
Yeah.
the
That
other.
seems to
That's-
really
I
doesn't
don't
matter.
think we ever will
Exactly.
It's
have
six
to
of one,
worry.
half a
Doesn't
dozen of the other, really, because
Yeah.
we're not
We-
gonna need it in the next 3
That's
years.
what we're
Exactly.
hoping, never need it.
We built the studio for about $488,000, so we'd have to build 2 studios before
We needed it,
we needed it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have any of you ever bought an annuity before? Do you understand what the product is?
We have an annuity,
You have an annuity personally.
personal,
Right.
not a corporate one.
Right.
I've never,
But you need to really read, each annuity has very specific, as she said, she was provided a lot of pieces of paper.
mm-hmm,
You need to be careful because each annuity is different. The other thing you have to do is you have to ask this financial advisor where he's putting the money, whether it's this company, Sagacor, or someplace else, because
Yeah.
you need to do due diligence on the company that's receiving your $250,000, even though they tell you it's guaranteed. There was a company in '08 called AIG.
yep,
Guess how many people lost their annuities?
Yeah,
I personally could never vote for an annuity. I would not recommend annuities for people. I would definitely not recommend it for a
ours has done
corporation.
very well.
Very good, but, that's your money. This is not our money.
I know.
This is someone else's money.
I know.
All right? And the risk versus, 2% on 250,000 is about $5,000 a year. So you gotta put all at risk to make another 5,000. I don't think it's worth it, personally. I'd rather see the money. Everybody is complaining about interest rates, and it's the way the Federal Reserve has made it. No one's making money on interest. And the higher rate you get, the more risk you're taking.
mhm.
And this is other people's money. And so I could never vote for an annuity. I really think if you wanna do this, you guys ought to read the documents and go see where they're putting the money and read the financial statements of that company. Because you have to do a ton of due diligence on annuities.
So what would you suggest, just CDs?
I would suggest doing whatever best CDs you can come, go short, because
4%.
right now, the interest rates are going to rise at the end of next year. It's just how much. Now, if inflation continues to go, they might rise quicker. But they're not gonna go, they might go to 2%. We're not gonna see 7s, 8s, 6s, 5s. So for the amount of money you're talking, I really think you're taking a significant risk to make another $4,000 or $5,000 a year. But
So he also did offer, Chris offered to come in and speak with us, or he would do a, conference call,
Mhm.
if anybody would like to. I'm a little relieved to know we have until August 9th. I had that stuck in my head
Well,
and
I
I couldn't
think
get
you
past
have
it.
until August for our CDs,
Yes.
but I don't know how
Yeah.
long the rates are locked at Milestone MIGA.
Mhm.
So it goes down, after today, it goes down to, 2.05% for a 3-year and 2.75% for a 5-year. That we do know. And the bank, we don't have to allow the CDs to roll over at the bank. We can,
Move them to
We just
somewhere
move
else.
to
Yeah.
our checking and
Just-
have access to them.
yeah,
when we
just don't lock them in
Mhm.
until we decide.
Have we
but-
looked at other banks to see what their rates are?
Oh,
Are they all
man,
the
I
same?
They're all
looked
the
at-
same.
They're all the
yeah.
same?
want.
Yeah,
I'm
and,
just curious.
most banks that I talked to wouldn't do a commercial CD.
yeah, that's the other problem. Some of them
Yeah.
won't touch it.
Yeah, they all said, no, it's
I
gotta be.
mean, you just gotta bear with the rates. I mean, that's what it is. If you try to squeeze some money out, you might be taking a significant risk that you don't know about today.
Right, it is about 5,000
Yeah.
annually.
Yeah, I
2
mean,
years
it's
is
not-
10,000, 3 years is
Yeah, and there are some
15,000.
reputable annuities, cause I know, I mean, it
Again,
depends
you
on who
gotta-
would take a
This is just-
corporation.
Jesse, you have to look at the company behind the annuity, who's
Yeah.
receiving the money,
Yeah.
and
Well, that's what I'm saying, maybe we don't go with Sagacor, maybe we look and see
a lot of
at
people
more
went with
revenue.
AIG. It was a
No,
multi-billion
AIG
dollar
was big
insurance
too.
company.
So, I did,
I believe we have John Hancock, I think that's
I
what it
did
was, or
send
something
everybody
like
the
that.
link, but I didn't print it out. There is an explanation of the, insurance on the annuities, and for some reason I also didn't include the link on this.
But it was insured for 250,
250.
so we wouldn't lose anything,
No.
we wouldn't gain anything.
Oh, that's what the people at AIG said. they wouldn't lose anything.
So as an accountant, is it FDIC insured for 250?
I don't
It's
believe
not
so.
FDIC, it's
No.
a different.
That's what I mean.
It's a
You're
different
getting away
insurance
from government
program?
insurance. That's why the rate's higher. Higher the rate, the higher the risk. It's risky. It's riskier than the bank. That's why it's paying higher rate.
Would you be willing, as an accountant, to hear what his investments are? I mean.
I'm just
this is-
totally against them. I have been for 50 years. In high-rate environments, they yield low rates, and in low-rate environments, they still yield low rates, so they're not a good investment, in my opinion, but
Well,
Not
they're a
even
risky
short-term-
investment.
Not even a short-term,
no,
3-year?
I wouldn't touch one. No,
No.
and the problem is, you gotta read the documents. Each annuity, each company writes their annuity differently, and as far as penalties to get out, or whether you can ever get it out back, and then you have to look at the
That
company
is
that the
what
money's
the,
placed with,
The percentages at the bottom here are the penalties.
and you're losing the federal
Surrender
guarantee.
charges.
You know,
The guarantee of the whole thing.
Yeah,
That's
keep
it,
it
yeah.
with the bank. Everything's guaranteed at a bank.
So, Chris assured me that the, annuity is fully insured to $250,000. Unfortunately, I
That's
don't know
not
why I
covered.
didn't print out the information from the website, but I did send it in an email, and I will send it again after tonight.
Maybe we should do a conference call with them, maybe we should be up to.
Yeah.
No, I could never vote for it, so I'm out. I'm gonna vote no. I
He
could never
would've-
vote for an annuity because of my experience with them.
He would have been here tonight if I had invited him, and.
They just made me
Well,
real-
maybe we
they
can
made me
do
real
it, I mean,
nervous.
maybe just so we, for our own knowledge, to see, you know, and go from there.
As a conference call, or?
Yes, a
Sure.
conference call, 'cause I can do that for me, if you wanna do that,
Sure, yeah.
just let me know. Don't make it too late in the day, like the middle of the day, it's either first thing in the morning or later on.
It won't be first thing.
I'm gonna be on the boat.
Oh.
Mr. Shea has a question.
I don't wanna be a stickler, but if a majority of the board are participating in a conference call, it is an open meeting.
Right.
So it would be an open meeting violation if we were a public body. Unfortunately, we're a private nonprofit corporation.
But the bylaws say we go by the open meeting law, and we agreed to go
Okay.
by the
I would-
open
I
meeting
would just
law.
say-
I
we
was
don't-
just trying to look for information,
I
Yeah, but
understand.
because he's already dead set against it, so we already have one no vote, it could be, after I hear this,
Just for your
it's
own
a
protection.
presentation.
Right.
You don't want somebody
Protection?
coming back and
You
raising
don't want a
questions.
majority. You could do two, and it'd be okay.
What is it protection from?
Criticism by somebody. I've had
I
multiple
see.
people file criticisms for me for belonging to committee, being on too many town committees.
I see.
It's
Thank you.
something that didn't exist.
Okay.
So,
You could do it with
Could
two.
we,
So
could we
you
do
could
it
do it
like
with
me, Lisa
Maybe-
and Chris, and then?
No,
Lisa-
if you go to three, you have a meeting.
You
Oh,
and
okay,
Lisa
so-
could
You
take
can't even
part.
go to the bar with three people.
You and Lisa could
That's what I'm
take
saying,
part.
Lisa,
Theoretically.
myself, and
There's
and
two.
Christopher
Sure.
on one
be
meeting.
happy to do that.
And
Yeah.
then Lisa, Bob
people.
and Christopher on another meeting, and then
Right,
Lisa,
yeah,
Peter
as long
and
as you limit
Christopher
it
on
to
another
two.
meeting.
Yeah.
Just
As
so
long as
we
not a
can
quorum.
be informed, cause I'm not very familiar and you're really dead set against it, so I
Right.
kinda wanna look in to see why.
But he's selling it. He's gonna make a commission on it, so he's
Yeah,
gonna
but
tell
you
you
can
how
see
great it
through
is.
some of that stuff, you can see, you can ask the questions and stuff like that. We're
Protect
adults.
them
I've
for
asked the
yourself. You
questions.
could call him directly.
Mhm.
Each one of you could call him directly and speak to him directly if you would like to do
You
that.
just had to be careful with three of us getting together.
Okay. See, we're new at all these laws.
It's too bad we just
And
couldn't
rules.
commit a committee to go. Listen, and would a committee be in no violation of any bylaw?
If it's three, it would be.
The board,
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
a two-person committee.
two board plus the town? Like, let's say Mr. Shea wanted to be on that committee to hear about it.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
it's a committee.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't want it. I don't know enough.
But I mean, as long as there's not more than
Two
two
members of
Of
the.
the
this
board.
board.
That's
Now, if you
what
had
I'm
9, the number gets bigger that you can.
I would suggest you all call him separately, and that way you can ask and he'll answer all
And
your
that solves
questions
the
directly.
problem.
Yeah.
There is no open meeting violation, although
It's just trying to
Well, it's
abide
just
by what
trying-
was.
yeah.
agreed
That's all.
to go by.
Yeah, we're trying to use the
Chapter
guideline.
38.
It is an open meeting violation if 3 people get up on the phone, it's a meeting. And it hasn't been
Yeah.
advertised, the agenda wasn't
Okay.
posted, it's a violation.
So
Legally,
then-
it's not, but that's what this board agreed to go by.
Yeah,
And that's what the bylaw says.
Yes.
As a
The
guideline.
Attorney General would not do anything if 3 of you got on the phone together, even if someone complained.
they wouldn't care.
Because it is a
So
private, although this board agreed to abide.
All I
by
know is
that.
I'm on a board and I don't wanna be reported to the Attorney General. Whether he does something or she does something or not, it doesn't matter to me, Alex.
Yeah, no,
I don't wanna be reported.
I'm just
AG
telling-
definitely
Okay.
won't care.
I'm just telling you that the Attorney General.
So we
will
can
not-
make our
Alright.
calls to Christopher and take it from
I
there.
will pass along his phone number and you can all call him separately.
Okay.
That sounds good.
And you have a link to their website, a link to everything?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I know I sent
So
it
is this
as
the
an
company?
email and
Yes.
it might be
That he
here
works for.
somewhere.
Sagacor, this is the company that he's selling. He doesn't necessarily work for Sagacor, right?
Would you like these? No.
No, he's an outside broker, and he's selling Sagacor, that's what he sells,
So
he's
we
like
went
a
on,
financial
we
planner.
went on and looked at Sega before we could find something else. That's
Yes.
where it's going.
You
Yes,
could.
All right, let me do that.
because we haven't said yes or no, we're just trying to look into it. Is this stuff we can keep or no?
Yeah, you can have, he
You can
gave you
keep-
that. Yeah. So, so how about this?
Here we go.
So if we don't reach a decision on this by
Today, it's not gonna work.
July
Oh,
30th,
July 30th.
is it okay with everybody if I just put the money in the checking account and leave it so it doesn't roll over automatically?
Yeah, maybe a money market.
Why don't
Did
we
you
set
open
up a
money
couple
market?
new CDs and then just leave out a certain amount?
This says you're the annuitant,
Yeah, he prepared it for me because I was talking to him.
but
But it'll be for the company.
you need the age and all kinds of things to do the annuity. That's what they're based upon,
That's,
that
that was
calculation.
a question that I had, cause I thought you
So
did.
He's using her name and her age to figure out,
So how would you do that for a company?
I don't know.
He told me he would do it for the corporation and we would be the annuitants.
So does that mean you're the beneficiaries?
I don't know.
Questions to ask.
I mean, ACAM's
There's
never
something
gonna
you
die,
could ask
but.
him on the phone.
We're not losing much if we put on July 30th, when the CDs
You're not gonna lose a
expire.
lot of money either
We're not
way.
losing much
Right.
to just
No.
shift it into checking until
$95
we
a month
understand where we're looking.
each. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
not gonna lose a lot of money.
So we can
Does
just shift it to
everybody
the
feel
check.
we need a vote on that? Can we have that in the form of a motion?
I don't understand why we're taking all of the money and putting it in the checking account. We're only getting, and if we do get annuity, it's only 250. So really, why don't you just flip and put in new CDs, 2 new CDs?
Well, that's the thing, is
a
that
different amount.
the
One
CDs would be at 0.4% interest,
One, in case
Oh,
we
wait.
need the other 250.
which is what they're getting now.
Yeah, I mean, but we were gonna do that no matter what, right? Because we can only put 250 in the
that, but do
annuity.
it short
I think
term.
what Jessica's saying, sorry if I'm putting
Because if
words
you put
in
in
your
the checking
mouth.
account, you get nothing.
We could
Right.
leave one CD, we could restart another CD for about the 300,000.
Okay.
The other 300,000 could go in the checking account as an opportunity to shift into something else. Or we could just roll both CDs, 2 CDs, and drag down our
Checking account.
checking account, but that's gonna leave a balance of near like 150, not
Well,
4.
maybe leave 250 in the checking account and take the difference between, say, this one's 310.
Can we have that in the form of a motion?
Okay, can we motion to do that?
Could I just say, you don't wanna invest in another 3 years worth of 0.4%.
No, we're.
Yeah,
No, we're
Ten
talking
months.
short
Short
term.
term.
Nine months.
Short
10
term.
months.
You are talking
We're
short
gonna do
term.
2
months.
short term.
Okay.
Good,
Yeah.
okay, we're talking
Yeah.
short term.
Oh,
2
yeah.
short term.
The shortest term available.
But I'm
is
gonna
a
need a
CD.
calculator to figure out the actual dollar amount, because I'm not
For
gonna be able
the-
to do that in
well,
my head.
We
Well-
could do it in terms of CDs, right? Terms of
Okay.
CDs and the,
So, I make a motion to leave 270,000 in the checking account,
You wanna use that?
You want a balance of.
a balance of 270 in the checking account. The rest of the money we will take out and put into CDs minus the 250, so there's what, 270 and 250? 270 plus 250. That would leave $520,000 in the checking account, and the rest goes in 2 separate CDs.
520 in the checking.
So 270 goes, the motion is 270 goes to checking account, right?
From the
270 is gonna be
CDs.
the balance, and then from the CDs, 250,000 is gonna go into the checking account.
Okay.
And then you're gonna take the difference,
250.
split it in half, or, I don't know how you wanna do it.
I'm sorry, it's
To
not
be
clear to me.
determined.
We have-
let's, for fun, 415 in the checking now.
I'm just gonna do this, it's gonna make it even
You got
easier.
1035.
Okay, you're gonna minus 270 from it.
Yeah,
Oh, no, that didn't work.
it's cause you went all the way down, two even thousands.
35053 minus 270.
Minus 250. Alright,
It's gonna be $515,053 that we're gonna put in CDs.
515
short-term.
short-term
For the
CDs.
shortest term
53.
possible.
Right.
to
Yeah.
the CDs.
90
So whether
days
you
or
wanna do one CD
120.
for a short term, or whether you wanna split into two, maybe a 300,000 and a, 215, that's
Well,
up to you.
We
I don't-
currently have two $300,000 ones now.
Okay.
So,
So we'll do one 300,000 and one,
The other amount.
and
yeah,
one
it's not,
215?
300,000 was just, actually, that figure came about because that was the money we recovered from uncashed checks. So when we got that, we put it in a CD. So 300,000 is really a random number. It's
Yeah, well, the
not-
more
there's
money you
no-
have on a .4, like, I don't know, I guess you guys said it doesn't matter, but
We could have $300,000 CDs
And still
that
make
would
the same
earn the
amount.
same interest
Right.
as
So-
one $300,000.
Okay, well,
however we
One
wanna
for
split that up.
515.
How many do you wanna split that up into? Cause I'm in a motion right
Two.
now.
Yeah, two is fine, two CDs.
Okay, so we're taking the 500, what did I say, 515,
15.
and we're gonna split it into two equal CDs.
Two equal CDs.
Did
Why
I
don't
do
we
okay?
Why don't we go 250? That's 500. Leave the 15 in the checkbook.
No, yes?
No,
I'm
I
fine
did it.
with whatever.
258 and
Do you
257.
wanna do one CD? You're smiling over
No,
there.
no,
so-
two is fine.
258 and 257.
Whatever.
258.
It really doesn't
257.
matter to me. I figured
Two
split it.
equal CDs
Yep.
from $515.53 in the Abington Bank.
Yes.
And the rest is in checking.
The rest will be in checking, so we'll decide what to do with the 250 after we've talked to
Okay.
Christopher from Sagacor? Is that, or we're?
No,
oh,
he's not. He's I forget what his like Centennial Group or something.
Okay, Christopher from Centennial Group.
Yeah, I'll send everybody his phone number after the meeting.
Is
I
it a
will
series?
second the motion to make two CDs of about 258,000, 257,000, or equally to add up to 515,000 as CDs, which will result in taking about 100,000 from the CDs and adding it to our checking account to roughly have 500 and
20.
about 20,000 in our
Okay.
checking.
520.
Thank you.
About
When they mature,
When they mature.
while we're waiting to make a
on
decision.
July 30th. Yes. correct.
On July 30th, while we're waiting to make a decision on the rollover.
And if we then
Reinvestment.
at that time choose to invent a third CD, we
There
could
we go.
choose that.
Yeah.
Cause that'll be
Okay.
roughly around the same, the 250, 250, and 250.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Unanimous?
Unanimous.
These are good problems to have.
Yeah.
Bob, you mentioned a money market, how would that work?
Well, they used to offer money markets. You could, for a minimum balance like 100,000. and
Yeah, we
they-
have one.
They might pay the .4. It's not a lot of money, but it's
So
better
it
than a checking
wouldn't-
account.
Yeah, so.
And
it
that
wouldn't
you're
be
allowed,
much
like, 6
different
withdrawals a
interest
month.
than a CD.
I did
Yeah.
ask
Correct.
about that.
It's about the same now. The rates
They
are so
offer-
terrible,
they-
but
Yeah,
you could put it in a money market and write 5 or 6 checks on it a month.
Yeah.
yeah,
If you wanted to do that, and you make something, right now
better
it's
than
in,
nothing. I
it'll
was
be in
gonna
a check.
suggest that too for the bank account.
Yeah.
In the
Backed up.
meantime, I will look into that and see what I can find out about money markets.
Yeah, usually you need a minimum of 100,000 or something like that. But
Yeah.
you can do it. And you can write 6 checks, 5 or 6 checks on it a month.
And
And what's
Abington
the
Bank does
security
offer
with
them,
that?
because
Is
I
there a
have,
It's
I have
guaranteed by
one.
the feds.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, FDIC insured, and at the Abington Savings Bank, you get a cross collateral with the, it's called the Coop Central Fund.
Yeah,
So they go all the way up to everything.
so could your checking account be a money market, or is there a
Only-
limit on the
there's
number
a-
of checks?
Yeah, there's a limit of about 5 or 6. It's-
So you
that's-
could-
We have a lot of electronic
Yeah, on the
transactions
cusp.
going on,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
kind of beneficial to keep it in the one account.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we could move money to a money market to have a different
Yes.
return, similar to a CD,
Right,
because we wouldn't be issuing checks from it,
right.
if we needed to.
But you could make electronic transfers too. That's the 5 or 6 a month you can do, either a check or electronic transfer.
Okay. So I think we're good with that. The next item on the agenda is the Mass Health Connector insurance options, which I looked at their website a few times and there was something on their SIC that I couldn't find.
oh, I forgot to look that up.
Yeah,
It's
I
some
couldn't-
number, but I don't think you need to have it until after you're
It
in.
was red starred, so it wouldn't let me continue until I found that, whatever it was, and it had a little question mark beside it that did nothing
Nothing.
when I clicked on it, and I didn't find it in the FAQ. So
No,
this
I'll
is-
have to look, I'm sorry, I forgot to do that, I
No,
meant to do
that's
that
all
today,
right.
and I forgot.
That's all right,
My
that's fine.
apologies. But I gave him,
We can pretty much sign up anytime, as I understand
Yes.
it, they have like, the 10th of the month, every month
Every
is their
month.
cutoff.
and they have it for small businesses now,
Yeah,
which is great, and their rates are pretty good rates.
it wouldn't even let me get that far, it said get a quote, what's your
Yeah.
SIQ,
Well, I'll give you,
SIC?
this
I
is
don't
a
know.
one person, this is our person, but I requested a quote for one person because we only have one person in our company that is not on union insurance, so this would be regular insurance. So this is a quote based on one person that we're looking at. And I was kind of shocked to see that it really depends on your age. You have to give them the age of your employees, and the rates vary by age.
Oh, yeah.
So that would be something. So this quote here is, I can't tell you, but it's a 57-year-old woman. So that's what this quote's on.
Oh, monthly is cheaper now.
And if you compare it, I've looked at the Tufts, this is Tufts Health Direct. It's HMO Gold, Silver, and Bronze, and we have Advantage here. But if you go back and forth and you look at it, now, I mean, this is not something we're gonna decide tonight, this is for
Yeah.
informational fact-finding. Everybody can take it home and compare it. I've done preliminary comparisons, and it's pretty similar to the silver, not the
Is it?
gold, which I was kinda surprised. Because it does have a $2,000 individual deductible, which I didn't know it had. I thought we didn't have a deductible on Kevin's, well, our health.
Do we just have Kevin, is he the only one that's on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Did you have one in there? But if you look through it, I mean, basically, it's very, very similar. I don't see where there are a lot of differences. I would definitely have to get into the nitty-gritty of it all. And it's a significant difference in price.
Yeah.
Going through the Health Connector versus going through, an insurance company or provider, whatever. They said it was 15 to 20%, but this looks like a lot more than that, so.
So, did everybody get the two? There's one that says
There's two different
Tufts,
ones, you wanna look at them?
that says Ellen.
I saw that, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, we have the ones that we, the current plan we have
Yeah,
now,
Tufts
and
is
then,
right. Yeah, this one.
yeah. And they have in-network benefits, and I think the difference might be that you have to use in-network hospitals.
With
I'm
the
not-
Tufts or
with-
with the other
with-
one?
With this
Mass
plan
Connect?
versus Advantage, I don't know if he has the option to go outside network. Somebody answer that question, cause I'm not quite sure. If your provider is in-network, then you think, do you go outside of network?
I haven't had to yet.
Okay,
Till today.
True.
till today.
So globally speaking, you're looking at the Mass Health Connect
And they have,
compared to our existing
to
health plan
existing and
offering
trying to find
see if
something that's
there's
similar to what
similar
we
for a
offer
potential savings.
in there, cause they say it's anywhere from a 15 to 20% savings if you go
Wow.
through them versus going through somebody else. So, you wanna compare apples to apples, you know what I mean, and go from there to see what kind of savings. This obviously says Advantage HMM 2000, I'll call my girl, the, representative that I have, and I'll say, okay, this is the plan, I want something similar to this plan, tell me what you have that's similar, that's what we did for this, and that's what she came up with this, but, I mean, the $2,000 deductible, the out-of-pocket, everything is very similar. And then the gold, which is about what we're paying, what's actually less than what we're paying now, that has no deductible. And it has pretty much the same costs for what he's paying now. I don't see much of a difference. And that right there is a significant savings to
Yeah.
Kevin,
Right.
our employee, and to us.
You get rid of your $2,000 deductible, that's phenomenal.
That's huge, so I think we should all take a look at it.
Yeah.
We'll try and sign up for it and get, ACAM and see what they can give us. We don't have to go with it if it doesn't work out, but at least
Yeah.
you can put in the employee information so you can get an exact rate. Cause like I said, this is a 57-year-old woman, so I can't,
Yeah,
it's not the
yeah.
same as.
Once I find out what SIC stands for.
Couple of ticks off, but
I'm not a 57-year-old woman.
well done.
But it changes, and you can offer more than one plan too. So if you look at this, it says Tufts Health Direct, there's a gold, and you can offer both. And they can pick which one they wanna, they want, cause they're paying out of pocket too, 75-25.
Just Are we paying 98.98 now?
Oh, that's mine.
Oh,
I'm sorry. You have mine.
I have yours. How did that happen?
Oh,
What are we paying now?
I thought we were doing 60-40, but we're doing 75-25.
75% is paid by Abington CAM, 25% for the Abington CAM
For some reason, I was under the
employees.
impression it was 60-40. I don't know why.
The annual expense, which I think is what you're asking.
Yeah, what's the, roughly?
Just give me a sec.
And even, is it 10,000, 8,000?
It is, sorry,
80
stand by.
48.
No, because we're paying 900 and something a month. If he just gave us those
Oh, man,
somewhere.
that's 10 grand.
927,
927 a month,
and so we pay 3/4 of that.
and that's just for health, or is that for health, dental, and
Health
vision?
and dental.
Health
So
and
that's
dental.
that.
All right, so ACAM's responsible for 8350 employees.
No, what's the total?
11, the total would be 927.80 times 12, which I thought was,
I don't have my phone.
I think it's
You're talking 11 plus 11
11
something.
$11,133.60.
2, 7, 8. 11,133.60.
That's just the health insurance.
That's health
That's
and
health
dental.
and dental.
Health and dental.
So at this one, even at your gold with no deduct,
75%
no
aid.
deductible, it's $687.37 for a single. And then if you go down the dental plan, which is Delta Dental, not the dental plan that you have. I don't know how much is his dental plan, do you know? Separately, or you have it together,
Is
so
it
you
like
have no.
$56?
$59.75 monthly.
And this would be $36.82 monthly. And it covers, what's it, a $50 deductible, 100% of oral, teeth clean, what, you know, you guys, it's all in there. But your dentist doesn't take Delta, is
Yeah.
that what it was?
Yeah.
They don't?
You might have to find a new dentist. And then there's also a vision plan, which I don't know, do you have glasses?
Oh, that's separate,
I do.
Yep, the vision plan, they're all separate.
included?
We've not
It's
even-
included in
Healthcare.
yours now?
Yeah.
I'm not very thrilled.
And then,
United Healthcare.
well, it's a vision, it tells you what it has, it's $5.86 a month for vision. And it gives you a frame allowance of $150, contact lens allowance of $125, eye exam of $15, and then copay materials, I don't know
Yeah,
what that.
it sounds similar to what
What-
we have down here.
Yeah, for that, and it's $5.86. So you take it all into consideration, 586, the 35. It seemed like it would be a significant savings for us, so I think it's something that we should look into,
Yes.
even on just one, you know.
Yeah, and if you
Oh, yeah.
get rid of his $2,000 deductible, that's a significant savings
That's
to
a
you.
significant savings
Yes.
to him, plus the monthly is cheaper at $75.25. But you'd have to look into it, but I don't know what the option is for going out of network, that's the only thing. So,
Do you happen to know if we can, in your experience of these, are we able to depart from our contract that runs through December with the current plan for dental
Is there a
and run through March for
Is
the
there
current
penalty?
plan of health?
Is there a penalty if
That's
you?
what I'm asking.
I don't know, whoever set that up would know that, I don't know that. This is my first go-around with insurance, cause we are a union shop, so the union's always taking care of that. This is my first go-around of my own single, getting
I
insurance for
don't
somebody.
know. I'd
So-
have to ask, but
And
I'm
they
not
just
gonna ask
recently
until
opened
we
this
know.
up to small business, before it was only individual. So now they have a bigger pool, so they give you better rates, cause they're putting
Bigger
everybody,
pool.
they're putting everybody together. So I will try and get, what was that, the SIC number?
Yeah,
I'll email her and see what you need for
I
that.
think, did I send you a screenshot?
Yes, you did.
It had, the SIC
Yes.
number was in that screenshot,
Yes.
that's what I sent.
So Ellen A. Kaplan is the, who we go through. They're out of Framingham, and they have, and Susan Burtwell, she is the representative, so there's all different representatives and stuff like that. The number's right,
We've been
Lisa,
using
please-
HSA, but it sounds.
the number's right at the bottom, if you just wanna give them a call, whoever, if you want it to be us, do we wanna have somebody, like, look into that?
I can look into it.
You can do it yourself?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
And-
I could get a comparison as to what we currently have, what they offer. So maybe a few things that might differ.
Oh, there are gonna, there might be a couple things here and there, but no one plan is the
But
same.
if it's gonna come into savings.
It's gonna
the
come in, it's
organization.
still gonna give you what you need and everything, cause like I looked at the co-payments, cause I don't know if you've seen this, but
Yep.
they're all pretty similar. I was like, wow.
I think a lot of them are universal these days.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think
You know, for surgery, if you have, that one was a little different, because I think the surgery was, you have 150 now, and surgery would be
Bumps up.
500.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, so it does bump up, but,
Different categories, but worth looking at.
yeah, it's different categories, it's worth looking at, but I mean, how often do you have day surgeries?
Right, but you have the 2,000 annually.
But you have 2,000 annual, but you
Right.
don't have to pay anymore, so
Right.
if you have one surgery a year, it's
Keep
still
the
gonna
first
save
500
money.
aside.
What'd you say?
Still
Still
win.
winning?
He's
Yeah, you
still
still
win.
win, you're still winning.
Yeah.
That's one way to
Is
look
it
at
2,000
So you have-
annual, or is that
Annual.
maximum?
No.
He has 2,000 annual,
Every
and then
year.
he has 7,000 maximum. So
Overall
he has to pay
deductible?
first 2,000 of anything
Out of his
outside
pocket.
of his, regular visits.
Right.
And like the regular visits here, they're covered at no charge, and they don't go against it, you know, so everything, it looks like it's pretty comparable, so
Similar.
Does it?
it'll save us money,
Save
it'll
Kevin
save you money,
Yeah.
Saving money's good.
and it might, you know, work towards, you know, maybe additional employees later on if it's affordable, and if that's the way we go later on, but we'll look into the single one first.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
fact finding.
So-
Everybody okay with that?
Thanks for looking into it.
Yep.
Potential savings.
Potential savings.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is our executive director's report.
Thank you. Kind of doing double duty, being greeter in case we have any other members who show up also, as we're actually recording in studio here tonight for ease and turnaround. So first up, I should probably use the microphone, that'd be really good, huh? First up, I actually appeared before the Board of Selectmen on Monday night to give them a bit of a COVID-19 update as to the role that this organization played as being one of the puzzle pieces of the big puzzle to getting us through a global pandemic.
And Kevin, can I interrupt you just 1 second on that? You didn't have to give the report, that was just an excuse to get you there. And the Board of Selectmen presented him with Abington's Best Award on Monday night.
I know, congratulations.
Congratulations, Kevin.
But we do appreciate the report also.
It's set on the agenda, so just FYI.
Good work.
But my remarks, albeit lengthy, kind of highlighted some of the things that this organization did, some of the partnerships that we had, and some of the people who were instrumental, as this wasn't a one-person operation, there were many who were involved with this, so I was at least happy to be able to get that on the record during the meeting. Jumping down to marketing and outreach, we've seen actually an increase in all platforms, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We post daily, try to be community friendly to get information out as to some of the things we're doing, fun things, whether it's things that are happening here in-house or even yesterday's baseball game, posting pictures while we had a couple of cameras on the field. Some of the popular videos that we actually have, I find it interesting that the Abington Summer Concert, the Studio 2 concert, is still one of the highest viewed ones, even though it was taken offline because we actually received a call from one of the band members who said that there were people who, I guess when they performed last year, there was the bass player and the guitar player were new, and maybe they weren't as well-rounded as the previous Beatlesque individuals who were in the group, and asked that we just temporarily kind of take it down. But it was very popular, as our sports here in Abington, the Carver versus Abington basketball game, and Rockland Abington football. That was on March 20th. Overall, and I might add that the window of time that I took for YouTube was from October 1st up until this past Monday. That's almost 80,000 views on that site. And I would probably credit it to some of our live streaming of events, and again, try to promote some of the things that we are producing here in-house. I had a chance to sit down with Peter Schaefer, the school superintendent, and just kind of do a check-in with him as to the close of the year. One of the things I did ask, and was well received, was to see if we could get some signage. It's interesting when you try to guide someone to come here that unless we have little stand-up signs, you know, we have a big old sign that's out in front of our, you know, that hangs over our door, but The hardest part is getting people from coming up Glenowitz Way to getting them to find the parking area. So Peter was very amenable to maybe putting some signs, adding signs. I mean, people could find the performing arts center, they could find the athletic fields. It'd be nice if they could find Abington Community Access and Media.
Can I ask, where is the Abington Cam parking?
It's in the back.
So it is in the back?
It is.
Okay, so I
There's
clicked on the
two
right-
First
signs.
one.
Yeah, there's two signs.
Yeah, the first
I
slide you
didn't
come
see
to.
a sign.
There's
Yeah.
two signs. Yeah, it says
I
that.
parked back there, but I wasn't sure, because there's another one down here.
Yeah.
There's one behind, and where am I?
On both sides of the
There's
tennis
one over here
courts.
and over here.
Yeah. So,
So, but the one over here is the
The
one.
first one,
Okay, yep.
yes.
Where there's a space.
Yeah.
There
Well-
are two, signs on two different parking spaces.
Oh, so you only have two spots?
yeah, but I don't think anybody,
Okay.
I don't think there's any parking police, if that's what you're asking.
Oh,
There's
no,
gonna be-
I'm just saying, you know,
I mean, the parking is interesting here, to say the least, depending if there's a
it's a
sporting
game or
event.
anything, yes.
Sure, and I think, I would say 15, 16 months ago, I mean, we had things going on, and there were actually police walking up and down, you know, putting tickets because people were parking up and down the street. Like, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, jumping down to member volunteer campaign, we have put together, actually had the interns put together a PSA. We had a PSA day, and they each picked their own PSA. And one of the interns, Matt Lyons, actually put together a fantastic public service announcement about getting involved, and that runs constantly on all three of the PEG Access channels. Bulletin board slides asking folks to check in with us, as well as social media. We're always putting stuff out on social media to get involved. Jumping down to student interns, one of the things, we got a couple of outgoing, actually a group of 4 outgoing interns, 2 of them who are very much into doing films, going to school for it. So we had a discussion, and there's going to be an Abington Camp Film Camp.
Oh.
It's brief, July 20th to 22nd, 27th to 29th. Matt Lyons and Derek Terrell will be the camp counselors, per se, under our guidance here. Had a talk with, not only with Peter. Peter gave his blessing. Matt, the school principal, the middle school principal, was also, Matt McCurtain was okay on board with it, and actually suggested that maybe it's something to consider for maybe an after-school program. So it's something we can explore in the fall.
That'd be great. Now, did we talk to Park and Rec to put it on their thing, or are you gonna do that, so that it's up there with all the other camps for the summer?
Well,
So
here's the
everybody-
thing, this is a beta test,
Oh, okay.
and so it's gonna be 10 to 12. Again, and I also talked to, the 2 individuals, how big of a group, we want to have multiple groups together. Small group. So we're going with that, and I already talked with Matt McCurtain about how do we go about that. They're on board with assisting us to get the word out. We have a little bit of a system as to first come, first serve, basically.
That's great.
Okay. We do have new interns we've been working with, 4 from the class of 2022 and 1 from the class of 2024. Plan is to have a production workshop to get them up to speed for the fall, working on various aspects of production.
What happened to the class of 2023?
We're working on
They're
it.
reaching
Yeah.
out.
We're working
You're
on
gonna
it.
have to do some
We're
reach,
working
because
on
with these
it.
4, once they're gone, you can have anybody.
We're working on it. Cablecast program. 906 new shows added to the playback system. Again, the window of time between, since our last meeting, or October 1st to this past Monday. Sports coverage. That's kind of been the big thing that we've been pushing forward on. As you see, there's actually a breakdown of the different games. Again, this is boys, girls, varsity, junior varsity, freshmen. Total to date, 125 sporting events that we have covered as of this past Monday. And a third to a half of those games actually had play-by-play and color. Mixture, whether it's Matt Nelson or even interns who've actually
Commentated?
commentated, well, including someone you may know who did a fantastic job when it came to doing lacrosse games. Who, I mean, I was, they work a camera with him, and it was just interesting hearing how well he was able to kind of talk it up.
Yeah. he likes
Fantastic
that.
job.
So I was gonna say, with the commentation, sometimes maybe you might wanna go to, the coaches for injured students, like, in the sports team, and they can commentate, like
Sure.
something like that, get a
Sure,
little bit more of
absolutely.
the volunteer, and try to get somebody in.
Sure.
Because they sit on the sidelines and they really
Sure.
can't, so maybe they could do something like that.
It's an excellent
To
suggestion.
get people involved, even if the volunteer is just commentating games and not really doing anything else involved, you know what I mean?
It's a very good idea.
Could help.
We can definitely put it out there.
Yeah, you never know. It's a suggestion.
As far as new ACAM episodic programs that are in works, we actually did a mini series called Fireside Philosophy, starring Derek Terrell. Senioritis the podcast. Oddly enough, we had 21 episodes for, of course, the class of 2021. It's kind of like a mini diary of them. You know, it started with them being, you know, what cohort am I, and being cooped up, and there was the gradual from having to be virtually going to school to being in person, and then that day when, you know, masks are off and we're back.
Yeah.
And it was
And
good to
college
see
and
them.
everything else.
Yes.
Applying for college, going through all that.
Indeed, and they talked about that, so that went well. Also, Bay State in a Bronco. In development, Food Truck Follies, where we'll have
Who's doing that? That sounds fun.
Mr. Nelson, and we have another volunteer who's assisting.
Are they gonna go and taste all the food trucks and stuff like that?
That's what they're doing.
I'm gonna watch that.
Yep. That's in development. We got a gardening show that's in the works. Also, we've heard shot our first episode of Meet the VSO, featuring Veterans Agent Adam Gunn, as well as right in your backyard, Plymouth County. We actually have a Plymouth County Commissioner who actually says he's willing to do a show. The idea is he would highlight different communities, including Abington.
The things that go under,
In
the
the
highlights
county.
in that. That's great. I like
correct.
that one too.
Jumping down to the final one, equipment and tech update, and it was bandied about and talked about here briefly in your packet. Information that I shared with you are 3 different quotes. This is from 2 different vendors, and one of them might look oddly familiar, as we had Broadcast Picks, who we actually made a purchase through CARES Act funding through Plymouth County. They offered up a solution, albeit I don't think it would be one that we would go with. We would use a similar switcher, a similar pair of switchers. The one that is worth looking at is from Ockers. There's 2 different ones. You'll notice that the pricing is different. One says $60,000, $60,000, $499.75, while the other one is $75,213.75. The difference between the reason why there's a difference in price, the lower one is strictly just the Cotter room and to tie in the Buckley room down the hall. The other one would encompass the 2 downstairs. The idea is to have an intuitive system that we'd be able to capture. We have a single system that we can capture meetings in the other rooms. Now, most of the meetings actually happen upstairs.
Some
But-
do happen in those other 2.
Huh?
There are meetings in those other.
There are meetings, so they have be able to have cameras in those rooms, microphones, be able to pick up the audio. I mean, the primary room is still gonna be the Cotter room. The Cotter room, having a conversation with Scott Limbiacy and chatting with him as to what his vision would be for the Cotter room, talking with other individuals, and also having experience in some of the meetings that we cover. The equipment that is currently in the mini control room in the Cotter room, it is aged, it is dated. The audio mixers that are in there that would normally pick up the audio and make the adjustments, well, it's, again, they're past their prime, and we're actually using alternative methods of picking up audio so that the quality would be better. The idea for this particular system would not only to have to refurbish that room, but we also want to have a graphics generator to be able to put what meeting it is. Right now, what we do is we actually do everything in post. We'll put a head on it. We'll put a lower third so you know what meeting it is, and then we'll put it out. The idea would be to have that all inclusive, so we could be producing it right there. The other things that we want to keep in mind again is we're going to go from a standard def system to a high def system. The other thing is where we just went through something none of us ever thought we would, and that is a pandemic. Hybrid models, having, and we actually had to do this past Tuesday, I actually had to shepherd a hybrid meeting where we had multiple members, there were questions from the board that wanted to speak to one of the individuals who's gonna be cleaning up, is Cleveland Circle, is there a pond or something nearby?
Cleveland Pond?
Cleveland Pond.
That's right.
And so they wanted to be able to ask questions, and it was I put up, it was just kind of a laptop with speakers, but we want a better hybrid system than something that is kind of piecemeal together. So that would, not to mention, we also have the PA system in that room is gone. So when the selectmen are talking, people in the audience can't hear, so that has to be replaced. The other thing is the audio quality picking up. Most times people don't want to get up at the microphone.
Right.
Even if you give them a dirty eye or you ask them to get up, a lot of times people want to just kind of talk when they want to talk. So the idea would be is to have some kind of maybe microphones that hang down, so you'd be able to pick them up. Okay, so I've had a conversation with a couple of different vendors, pending other vendors, giving you multiple options for us to discuss here, and pricing points, what they offer. The other thing about the Carter room is this also, a lot of times there are PowerPoints. We want to be able to make sure whatever system that we get, we are able to tie in those PowerPoints, so when they're explaining something to their particular board, it'll not only show up on the screen that is in the Carter room, but it'll also be something that'll be, ingrained in the video that is going out to the folks who are watching it. Okay?
Kevin, why are these quotes so different? It seems like we're comparing apples and oranges to these two, because
Third and fourth.
Because as I said, this is from the individual who's offering that we would have the switcher we just purchased. Well, we purchased it and then it was paid for by
Yeah.
CARES Act funding. It would be a similar setup system. The only thing is we would have to go out and we would have to purchase cameras. Again, it's the idea of me getting different vendors to give us
so
options.
this is not full, this
Yeah.
is only a partial.
It's
Okay.
only a partial, but again, just trying to give, it was requested, and we've had side discussions as to, getting this done, and it's a priority. The one issue though is a lot of these vendors right now, because of what we endured with the pandemic, now that we're slowly coming out, they're busier than ever. And the gentleman from Ockers, he's like, the earliest I might be able to get in there is October. But I'm hoping that any other vendor that I speak to can give us maybe something that's a little bit earlier and sooner than then. But the idea is for us to have a conversation here and see what the best fit is, what the best equipment is, and what's gonna be something that's gonna be for the long term, to be able to cover all four of the rooms and be able to provide that to folks who wanna be in the know as to what's going on with those meetings.
Kevin, I wouldn't even try to understand all these entries on this list, but I am trying, but you're the expert. I'm just curious, would this be able to be remotely managed from you here? That all those
That's
if
the
four
idea.
rooms were lit up with business, you could manage it all here?
All
That's
four
the
of them
hope.
at once?
That's the hope. Well, I don't know. I would want to have somebody in the Carter room, and somebody, you're in the Carter room, the idea is you're gonna wanna be able to be putting that graphic up, that it's Selectman A, Selectman B, or that it's the Selectmen's meeting. You're gonna want somebody to be in that room, but I just wanna have a system that's gonna be robust enough to be able to do multiple meetings at the same time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm requesting
So
of
there
these
was the
individuals.
audio, video stuff, audio meaning sounds and microphone, the video, the camera, and the high tech. Then there's the remoteness. Just curious, is the video component, like the television, a 65, is that to put a TV into the room for displaying or is that a TV for this vicinity?
I think what he's saying, are you talking about as far as on?
Well, there
on
was an
this-
entry in here, 65-inch interactive TV. Is that for the production of assembling
That's for the
these?
hybrid, that's the hybrid option. That's so if we have people who are remoting in, you'd be able to see visually.
Oh, so whoever's in the meeting, they would be up on the screen.
So the TV would go into
That's-
the room, or is it
The room.
each room
In the
has a
room,
TV?
so Selectman A, B, or C can be able to talk back and forth.
So I guess I should have said it as,
only
there's
one TV.
one
There's
TV.
already a monitor that's already kind of in that little mini control room that I would believe that we could reuse. This, I think, is for the purpose of the selectmen to be able to back and forth. Part
that
of
would
So
the
you
be
would
one
see the
room.
interactive TV in one room, not multiple rooms?
Correct.
Unless there was an option to
Right, the ones
consider
that- the
smaller
smaller ones-
TVs for the other smaller rooms.
Right, your traffic, the amount of traffic that you are seeing is mostly in
Carter.
the Carter room.
I understand.
You have Monday nights where you may have 3 meetings, you may have Board of Health,
Sure.
you may have Board of Health, Planning on certain nights, and selectmen, although I think the selectmen and the planning board try to meet on alternate nights, but, we had nights, we had 3 meetings going on at once. And we were able to manage them.
Yeah, this
And-
is pretty near what, I know you and I, you've been good enough to spend some time with me on, you know, what might
Right.
be required to put this together, so thank you for the diligence. I'm just curious, are you expecting to have the answers from the other vendors within a month or so, or a
That's
couple
what
of
I'm hoping,
months?
if not sooner, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we're right now, we're, you know, catching our breath from the past 6 months. And a lot of different things that we've been doing.
right, no, I understand.
You know,
By the way,
and we're also, you know,
graduation baseball,
catching our
Go
breath,
Green Wave.
but also projecting for the fall, because the fall I expect is gonna be exponentially more, it'll be busier. Although I've,
Everything is gonna start back
Yeah.
up.
well, and then I've also put it out, I've also made mention, a lot of things that we did during COVID with the sports coverage, going above and beyond, whether it was, you know, capturing games here, downloading from other access centers, whether anybody knows it or not, all the football games were live streamed. All of those games, and it was a four-man operation.
no, I recognize you've been very busy, in no way was I playing anything else. In
No,
fact,
no.
you've been the only connection to see some of those live activities, and, you know, people couldn't even attend these games, so this was their only mechanism.
And
So
that was the idea.
The selectmen are on the right
Yeah.
path to acknowledge the effort that has been going on. I was only asking, you know, are we close, because we wanna make sure that when
Sure.
you have those ducks in a row, this board should meet to finalize a decision.
I agree.
To put you in a position to make it happen
Yeah,
as
so
soon
make
as
it go.
possible.
Right. I could have jumped at the chance with the gentleman from Ockers, but again, giving multiple options and seeing what's available for us in different pricing points.
Right.
I think it's essential to get you multiple vendors and dollar amounts, so we can make the best decision
agree.
for the long term.
Can I ask, one of your entries was about signage. Is the school declaring a particular type of sign, or does it need financial assistance for signage? Was
We
that
haven't
ever
crossed
discussed?
that bridge, but I kind of, and maybe I'm implying here, is I kind of feel as though that they'd be willing to assist us with that signage. I'll get you further details, Ed.
All I'm trying to get to is,
The highway
if
department
we
used to be able
can,
to make signs.
Right, right.
yeah,
right.
maybe it's that, or, you know, do
Yeah.
they need financial assistance to make it happen? I just,
I don't know if they still
as
make
you
signs.
say, you're coming out of a very busy time, there's no really breathing, but we're also trying to prepare for the fall.
For the fall.
Already, you
Right.
know.
Right, and then, you know, the small group of individuals, the other signage that I'd like to get, and, you know, I mean, the kids walk by our doors, we hear them chattering, they don't know what the heck's going on in here. I'd love to get a sign on that door, you know, almost like inquire within, you know, to kind of get them in here.
Sure.
You know, I mean, the idea is we can get the
Okay.
you know, the younger middle school kids to get in here and have them for a lot longer than getting juniors or getting
Yeah. 'cause
seniors,
then
you
you
know
have
what I
it
mean?
for 1 year and they're gone.
But also having a mentoring program within it as well, where maybe you have, you know, the veteran interns, you know, working with,
Available, sure.
yes.
So Kevin, I have a question for you. Since COVID and there's been a lot of changes to a lot of different meetings and everything, what do you foresee in the future? Is anybody keeping like the hybrid kind of thing? Are you going to be doing football live from now on because everybody liked it? You know, is there anything that people are saying we want to keep this and that's going to change your, you know,
Well,
vision of what it
first
looks
off,
like?
I think the boosters would want to see people, I mean,
Concessions.
Yeah.
you know what I mean, the boosters do a great job when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to athletics and some of the things that they offer. I don't wanna take from anybody's crowd, we're willing to,
Oh, I'm not saying take, I'm just saying, has anybody approached you and said, okay, we really liked what you did, we wanna keep this
Oh, yeah.
going?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm
Oh, yeah.
asking. Like, so do you
Oh, yeah.
foresee a little bit more on your plate going forward, or is it like a manageable thing?
I think we take it case by case.
Mm-hmm.
Take them case by case, our availability, members that, you know, we get more members in the door and get them volunteering and helping, then, you know, should be a problem. We have the equipment, the equipment's not the problem. But again, it's also a matter of having to turn it around and get it done. Again, what we lived through last year when you couldn't have spectators and folks couldn't watch their kids, that's why we rose to the challenge and made sure that we were at those games, that whether we're recording them, turning them around that same day, you know, and having bodies out there and grabbing it, or again, traveling to a game and getting ready for, you know, a rainstorm, you know, just so the folks at home I mean,
Could see
Sean,
it.
Sean Riley was getting, I mean, he was, if anything, I think he probably had the most fun, because people were from all over the country who he knew would be, you know, chiming in saying, I'm watching you from here and I'm watching from there.
Well,
The
that's why
live
I'm
stream,
asking, so
yeah.
the live stream, I mean, even
Big
though
hit.
there's gonna be, somebody might approach you and say, hey, you wanna do this, so I'm asking for your, you know, employees, and are you gonna have enough, and are we gonna start doing things we never did before now because of COVID?
Well, we're doing that now, so.
Yeah. Like,
I-
still though.
Case by case. I say case by case and see what happens. And again, I try to do my best to consult with a lot of the folks in the community and try to gauge. Am I perfect? No, but there are some great people in the community that I can go to and talk to and would say, well, you know, or yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I could see the upside of having those live streams.
Well,
but
that's what
there's a-
I think.
There's a
Well, that's
booster
gonna
consideration.
add
no,
more
to
time.
attendance
Well, I will tell you
Yeah,
this.
but the boosters are not gonna sell any
Right.
hamburgers.
The
and all that.
concessions, the,
Well, I know,
the community thing, you don't wanna have not people walking through
yeah,
the
but
gate
grandma might
because
wanna
they can
watch
see
it
it.
live stream, and
But-
you might
but-
not be able
but
to
we're
go, so
also-
that might be a great opportunity, you know what I mean?
Well-
That's what I'm saying,
Well,
you know?
we had that happen the other day. We actually had that happen earlier this week where there was a problem because it was so darn hot. And the computer was overheating and the stream was
that their
hiccuping and
selectmen's meeting?
I was getting emails. Matt was answering stuff on Facebook going, oh my God, what's going on?
It's a black screen.
Yeah. Well, no, what happened, it would freeze. You still hear the audio and, you know, it's kind of working through that stuff, but there's nothing we can do about Mother Nature. But I will say is just probably one thing that probably wouldn't change. You're talking outdoors versus indoors. And don't forget, we still have a stake in the huddle system. So those will still go out live. Those will still live stream. But also, we were doing hockey games. We were going in, physically going there and videotaping them and live streaming those. Are we gonna do every one? No.
Right.
No. Again, extenuating circumstances. Could have bodies in the stands.
Yeah,
We
I
st-
think
we
you
st-
made a great response
Yeah.
for a very different and previously unanticipated situation.
And my final note is the new switcher we used it for graduation. Worked out well. We did have a hiccup. Jessica was there, and she was the first one that I saw. I'm like,
Happens.
where the live stream on the website, we had a little bit of a hiccup because we actually started out and then had to stop our YouTube because we're using YouTube as a go-between to go, feed through our switcher. And so it didn't pick up on, I didn't find out until about 40 minutes in there we were having an issue. And we were able to rectify it, but, people are still upset going.
I didn't get to see why.
Yeah.
If they were in that early.
Even though it was made available immediately on YouTube. We did that
And that's
and we
what I
shared
did.
and we shared
I said
shared the
it'll be on
link.
YouTube in a little while, don't worry.
Yep.
You'll see
So,
it.
but the switcher was fantastic.
You're happy with that
Very
purchase? That was
very
a good
happy.
call.
Looking forward to other projects to use it for. And that concludes my notes.
Thanks for the good work.
Any questions?
I share
work,
the
Kevin.
selectmen's sentiments. Well done.
Teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
You have a question, Joe?
For Kevin's information, the Saturday game is in Hadley.
Hadley.
The
Yeah.
baseball game.
Are you
is
sure it's in
Hadley.
Hadley?
That's what the
Mr.
MIA
Shea.
site is saying.
That's
Okay.
Are you
So I'm
going
not-
there? Are you
I'm
live streaming that one?
No.
Yeah.
So the Abington, just in case, Lisa, the Abington Greenway baseball
Baseball team, yep.
they have been declared the Eastern Massachusetts champion. So congratulations to the
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
And now they're
Oh.
on to, Mr. Shea indicates,
And
Hadley on
Hadley.
Saturday.
Saturdays,
Yeah,
because it's on the
they're-
Connecticut River between Northampton
It's
and
way out
Amherst.
there.
Are you
When was that
live streaming
confirmed, Joe?
that?
Do you know?
That was about 15 minutes ago.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
15 minutes, hot off the press. Were you not paying attention to this meeting?
I could about do those things.
Well, I was getting text messages earlier today, and there was good conversation as to where it might be other alternative sites.
Well,
So.
the Globe today, it was gonna be in Abington.
Say that again?
The Globe today said the game was gonna be in Abington
Oh.
tomorrow.
But it's Saturday in Hadley, Mass.
Hadley.
That's what I'm seeing. I am 100% positive, and I don't know what time. The second thing I wanna say is.
Well,
I
good
know-
luck to the
You mentioned the
Greenway.
Harvard meeting.
Good luck baseball
Yeah.
team.
My wife talked about the success of one of the meetings you had with her at Plain Board, where you had about 60 people.
No, we had like 80 people.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
successful, thank you.
Yeah.
I am still going to try and get together with Doug Elwick and Eileen Walls to see about doing something on town history. And I know I
I'd love it
talked
if you
to-
did a history show, Joe.
What?
I would love it if you did a history show.
There you go.
Yeah, I could put, Melatonin out of business.
Maybe you and Bob Kelly.
You interested, Bob?
History of Abington?
Oh, I've already done it, St. Bridget's Church.
St. Bridget's is a good one.
We
I
did,
saw that.
St. Bridget's,
Yeah.
yeah, once we drove to St. Bridget's.
There you go.
Maybe, Joe, we could talk about it.
Okay,
Thank you, Joe.
all right.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Billy, Joe, thank you for coming to tonight's
Thank you
meeting.
for
I
coming
have
in.
some questions.
Okay.
I assume that first of all, I'm Billy Davis, so the people at home know. who's speaking.
Yeah.
I got a loud voice. I assume that the non-disclosure is ended with Justin?
No, it never ends for the studio.
The non-disclosure never ends?
Never ends for the studio.
Okay, well, obviously, then I'm not gonna get any of the answers. I feel that the members have been cheated out of knowing your reasons for firing Justin. But this is the way this board is running, unfortunately. Can you tell me how many volunteers do we have here approximately? Do we have an approximate amount of volunteers?
Do you need that number right at this moment?
No, just approximate.
I would say we could have anywhere between 10 and 20.
Okay. I know that Jim Conley had said that Lisa said that East Bridgewater had over 200 volunteers, and I was just curious how many volunteers that Abington.
Sure, and I will say this, is that we have put the word out there, I've been marketing, but we're also coming out of a pandemic, let's be, let's be fair here.
I
Okay,
get it,
all right.
I get it, and, you know, it was just
right.
curiosity
And also,
question.
the other thing to keep in mind also, is that they also have a robust senior program, where there's actually tax. Senior citizen, and that generates some interest, as well as they have a little bit more of a student involvement.
East Bridgewater gives a tax benefit like we do.
Correct.
If
It's a
you
tax
work at
I was
benefit.
gonna
the
say, maybe you could
landfill.
try setting something like that
Yeah.
up.
We did look into that. They had.
Sure.
It was just a
Sure.
curiosity question, nothing behind it.
But again, it's a, you know, I would be
Maybe
welcome
we
to
can
hearing
change
any ideas you may have, but I will say that it's in the process. It's on my punch list, and it's at the top of it.
Just a
The
curiosity
reason
question.
is a limit, because we already have so many working other things in town, so we can't give, there's a limit on how many we can give
It's a
tax
total of
breaks.
15 at the time.
So we
So-
still have 4 that we can use, or no?
That was,
Yeah.
it was,
That was a couple of years
it was a
ago.
couple of years ago that it's
Because we
actually,
use them at the senior center
Yeah.
for stuff.
And the
We use
compost,
them
I know they use them at the compost
the
sites and
senior
stuff like that.
center oversees the program, the
Okay.
way it works out. And when I spoke to her, there were 4 spots available.
The town can't afford to give 200 people a
Mhm.
tax break,
Yeah.
you know.
Alice,
And it was minimal, it was either $400
Last
or
year, we
$500
did not
it worked
use-
out to,
Yeah.
because
But it'd be
they
nice if we had like
No,
a lunch.
during COVID, we
on
probably
the
didn't use
tax
it, yeah,
rebate,
right.
so
Well,
they take
They're talking, so
25%
I just wanna let you
what
get
the
a chance
seniors
to ask
earn
your question so everybody can hear
in
it.
taxes.
So, Mr. Shea, you had a question?
point,
Point.
we were on, the last couple of years, we have not I think we have budgeted for 30 senior volunteers. We haven't used that many. So we might be able to get a couple more. And the other thing we could do is if we felt there was a need, we could go back to this, we could try to increase that budget. It's $600 a year for senior volunteer.
Yeah.
If we got a lot of them, and we got more, I think there's always a limit.
Even like 1 or 2 here, that would be great.
Well,
I
I
just-
can make an announcement at the next selectmen meeting, I'll check with Scott
Yeah.
and Sue, see how many
Billy?
are available, and we'll make an announcement, see if we can get some seniors in.
The program at the
And he
time
knows.
was administered through the senior center
said
and
right.
and Suzanne.
No.
Yeah.
It still is, but I just,
It still is.
I process the paperwork to give them the tax break.
Yeah,
So I know we didn't use all the money last year.
That's good.
that's good to know.
Okay.
So it might be an opportunity to expand to the senior
Possibly.
community.
Yes.
That'd be
At
great.
least try.
And
Yeah,
then it would be
definitely
good
look
for
into
the,
that,
then you
yeah.
get the seniors and the interns and the young, it's great.
I would like to see more volunteers.
So would we,
um,
so would we.
Sure,
But
that's
there's
the goal.
something I wanna get off my chest though. Not not the school, not the athletic program, and especially not Abington CAM. I served Abington for 25 years, and I didn't even get a thank you from anybody, you know. You want volunteers, you best show some appreciation. I mean, 25 years and I didn't even get a thank you, you know. I put thousands of dollars that I paid out of my own pocket to buy DVDs and sleeves and stuff so that the students could have free DVDs. All the video that I did with Justin, I was with Justin for 17 years. I had done over 10,000 hours with him as of January 2019. I
I'm
finished
sorry,
up
but
in.
we're not here to talk about
I'm here
anything
as
that
a
happened in
member,
the past.
and I wanna get this off my
So-
chest, you know, and if you can't give me
Get
at
your
least
letter-
that much
get it off
respect for
your chest.
25 years,
Sure, you go right
this
ahead
is,
then.
this is one of the reasons why I did retire from this, cause you know, it's unfriendly and uncomfortable, and if you wanna keep, if you wanna get volunteers, you wanna keep them, maybe a little thank you wouldn't hurt every once in a while.
I'm not, so, who are you looking for the thank you from?
Abington CAM.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I did 25 years and Abington CAM couldn't even give me a thank you? Really?
Can I, if I could just, Billy, if I could just intervene for half a second? And then, if it's okay with the board for me just to say something? First off, I don't know you, but I
You
would
have-
say,
you have nothing to do with it.
yeah, I do, cause I work here now. I'm invested in this community. I'm here. So if you need someone, I will say thank you for your 25 years. I'll come shake your hand. But it hasn't necessarily been a friendly, you know, that you can't ask people to say, hey, say thank you when there's been, let's be honest here, almost 2 years ago, there were hard feelings. It's hard for anybody to say thank you when there's hard feelings. I recognize the work that you've done, and I appreciate the work because we still play it. Green Wave Classics, that's you, Billy. A part of that's you, okay? And that helped get people through the pandemic. That was one of the shows. I mentioned it on Monday night. That was you. Thank you. But it takes two. Come talk to us.
Yes, it does.
Come talk to us. And you know what? And I will say this: if anybody has not felt, anybody that I've worked with, anybody that I've talked to, I haven't shown appreciation. I would welcome them, because I try to show appreciation with everybody that I work with. Me personally, and my staff does. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. We're not the past administration or the past individuals who are part of the organization, and we're not trying to be. We're trying to do our own thing. And you're welcome to come and be a part of it, or you're welcome to enjoy it as I know you do. I know many times you've said to Matt Nelson how much you enjoy the games. You love those games. You've been watching them. Am I right?
Yep.
Okay. So, and again, and then I say this to you with all due respect. I really do. Thank you for your work, and I'm being sincere. Because again, that was something that helped get people through the pandemic. It was one of the many things that we offered here, was a little Billy Davis in your camera work. So thank you.
Well, thank you for your words, but
But here's the other thing.
this
though.
whole thing.
How long does this keep perpetuating, though? How long are you going to be angry?
I'm just trying to get over this.
Okay,
you know?
I understand. Okay.
But I'm sorry, but thank you for your words, but I'm not.
But I mean it, though.
Okay, but you weren't really part of it. This was
Okay.
previous before you came here. 25 years and not even a thank you. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. And unfortunately, I had made a commitment to do. I told everybody I was retiring, and I gave them all a heads up, and I said, "Do you want me to finish out the season?" And they all said yes and everything. And someone approached me and said, "Could I get a 10-year commitment?" And I said yes. He got me in a good mood. I just wanted to finish up one more, give him the last chance and everything. But I'm just feeling this to be unfriendly and uncomfortable, and so I'm gonna have to tell this person, I'm not gonna tell you who it is, that I just can't I can't fulfill my commitment.
Well, if you change your mind,
Nope.
Okay.
There's,
Never say never, Billy.
not for my soul would I.
but you can't, but if I can say, you can't say that I've called you. And I've seen you at the game, and I'm like, hey, Billy, how you doing?
I,
Stop by the studio.
and I'm respectful to you too. You're not the
Okay.
person that I'm
You upset it.
irritated with, okay?
Yep.
I don't know who that would be then.
This is my feeling that I get.
You were the one that was screaming red-faced in my face at the annual meeting.
And because
Nobody forced you out.
I spent
Let's
17
make
years
that
adjusting.
clear.
you
Nobody forced you out. You chose to
So?
retire, as you have been telling me you were going to do since I met you, I don't know how many years ago. You were red-faced and screaming at me at the annual meeting. I did not ask you to leave.
Well, I left because of how sour you made this place.
No, actually, Billy,
If you
to
still
be
feel
honest,
that way, I'm sorry, but.
she's done a lot.
I would say the majority
I-
of people
I've
feel
done nothing.
Kevin has
I'm
done a
behind the
great
scenes,
job.
And I've done nothing.
But you
Bill,
have,
know,
Billy.
Maybe if you hadn't acted the way you did at that annual meeting, maybe you would have gotten a thank you.
Nobody forced you out and nobody told you you couldn't
Very
come back.
immature.
Yeah, I think, in closing, I would say, there has been some friction in the air. Hopefully, we can all move beyond that. I know personally, I have spoken to Billy that his actions for 20-plus years and more than probably 12,000 hours could never be replaced with ease. He has been a significant fold in Abington Cam Productions since Abington Cam originated. So, thank you.
And
I'm
nobody
glad it's
denies
on there.
that.
But the friction is probably the past, couple of years is not allowed that opportunity to be expressed by the board. So hopefully we can move beyond that sometime.
Thank you,
Sometime.
but this is not on the agenda. This is not a planned item.
General
we
business
wanna
and
stay-
items not reasonably anticipated 48 hours in advance.
We just move on.
So
It's okay, it's done.
why
So-
can't I speak my mind?
You did.
You did. We heard you, thank you.
Can we have a motion
One
to-
comment.
Oh,
We
sorry.
need to
Mr.
move
Chair.
on from what happened.
Yes,
I think
agree.
we're trying to move on from what happened.
We're trying.
What last October 2019, there were a lot of people very upset, including myself. Billy Davis was not the only red-faced person down there unhappy.
No.
I believe it also included at least 2 or 3 other former
We're
select
really
members.
not here to rehash 2019, I'm sorry.
All right,
Well,
I'd
I'm a
like to
member
make a
of
motion
Abington Cam.
to
I
adjourn
can't
the
speak
meeting.
my mind. This
We have a
is,
motion, do we have a second?
this
I
is
second.
why I,
Thank you. Good
No.
night.
no. I didn't say that I
Do we have to
did,
vote on it?
did you all vote on that?
Yeah,
We
you
have to
should.
vote on it.
I need a vote.
All
I have a
those in
motion.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion and a second.
Yeah,
All right,
there was a
by-
motion, there was
All
a
in
second.
favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Second by Jessica.